When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. Whether it's a group getaway, family reunion, or you want to host a big party, I'm going to explore places where homeowners have gone above and beyond to design spaces for large groups. The first home is an eclectic Victorian, perfect for families that will give visitors a new perspective on washing up after supper.
She'd be bathing here and we'd be hanging out, drinking wine, playing music.
Next is a 6,000 square foot adult playground, perfect for parties of creative souls.
I'm sure people have had fun with this space.
Definitely. That's a lot of fun.
Finally, a custom-crafted mansion with luxury in every detail gives visiting groups a taste of the good life.
Oh my God, I love this room. This is another level of luxury.
Short-term rentals are transforming the way groups travel. They provide the comforts of home, the benefits of staying together, and the opportunity to experience another life. Short-term rentals can be linked back to boarding houses of the 19th century.
In the second half of the 19th century, the city starts to grow dramatically. So the effect of all this growth is that you have a new set of people who all of a sudden need somewhere to live, ideally close to all of these jobs in the downtown. Big houses which had been home to large families start to shift into boarding houses, or what we would call rooming houses today.
Boarding houses largely died off in the 1930s, but the internet brought the short-term rental market back to life. Except now, big groups can rent entire homes to themselves.
Group travel is the largest segment of vacation rentals right now. People are really looking to travel with all their friends. They want to travel with their 10 closest buddies, or they want to travel with their extended family. And now vacation rentals really allow people to travel in much larger groups.
This property caught my eye because of some beautiful design touches and something really unusual in the kitchen. I can't wait to check it out.
This eclectic house was built in 1880. Abby purchased the property as a gut job in 2009 and slowly renovated it for her family. After 7 years, they decided to move out and rent it short-term. This large home is 3,000 square feet and can sleep up to 9 guests in 5 bedrooms. It offers travelers a family-focused stay with its layout and amenities.
Oh, wow. What a beautiful space. And this is what drew me in, the tub. Such a cute Victorian clawfoot. It is unusual to have a tub in a kitchen, but while you might not want it in your regular home on a day-to-day basis, in a rental space like this, it's fantastic. It gives such great social media moments. And of course, it's memorable. People are going to leave and always remember the house with the bathtub in the kitchen. Hey, Abby.
Hi, Katie.
So I'm in love with this space.
Thanks.
I've been admiring this tub, but why is it here?
When we were renovating, I was pregnant with our daughter. And that was her bath time every single night. She'd be bathing here and we'd be, hanging out, drinking wine, chatting with her, playing music.
So it really became like a communal family time rather than hoiking upstairs and kind of separating yourselves. It's so great. And I'm sure that the guests that you have here will use it in exactly the same way and celebrate it in the same way that you did.
Yeah, that was something I've always wanted to do, actually, kind of since my early nesting days in my 20s. I always thought it'd be so great to have a bathtub in the kitchen. I wasn't even thinking about parenting, to be honest. I was more thinking about, me in a bubble bath and my partner bringing me a steak and a glass of wine.
Lovely.
A lot of families really love it, and I'm sure there's been many, many happy scenes of, multi-generational hanging out in the space and the little in the tub, and it's also great for parties. You can fill it with ice and put beer in it.
Oh my God, that's such a great point. No ice buckets outside, just load it all in there.
Yeah.
I love that idea. That's really great.
We were lucky to have the space, though, because I think in a smaller space it would get in the way a little bit.
Yeah. So you lived here for a while, and then you decided to turn it into a rental property. Why was it important to you to do short-term rentals versus having it tenanted?
We've tried both. I like short-term because it's sort of like my opportunity to run a boutique hotel, if you like. I've kept it more as it was when it was our family home. I get a lot of joy from people experiencing something that we've created with so much love.
I noticed actually over here something that I really love. I'm going to assume this is one of your kind of family treasures.
Yeah, that's my daughter. She's 9 now. It's a beautiful memory of her childhood. We decided to keep that. In fact, I'm probably going to varnish over that so that it's protected.
I think that's a really nice touch.
I just love items that are created with the human hand and have taken time to produce. I really like these gorgeous hand-painted tiles. They still look perfect, and they've been there for almost 10 years now.
That's great. Are some of these things picked up from abroad?
Many. Most things in here have a patina, were created by hand, and where they're not modern, they're often antique.
I think that effort's really paid off because I can really feel it. It feels curated, feels eclectic, but it also feels like home. What types of groups do you typically have staying here?
Often it's families, because it's such a big house.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for people to cook together and to congregate in the big space.
Yeah.
So I think it's unusual in that respect.
And what are the kind of personal touches that you add? What are the extras you leave out or provide for your guests?
I provide some amenities for children, and we have a really nice pack-and-play crib that we put up if people tell us that they want sleeping space for a baby, for example. I do provide coffee, and then if it's a honeymoon or something special, I'll put out a nice bottle of wine as well.
That's great.
I think that part of the magic of showing up and having a whole house to yourself, especially one with as many kind of personal touches as this, is almost like the fantasy that this is my house and I live here.
It really does speak to the family traveler. It does speak to women travelers. Women book 80% of family travel. And so I think this property does a really good job of showing, what a family would be doing there. It has a piano, bathtub in the kitchen. They have some really unique touches that make it really seem like a family-friendly property.
I really love these great pops of color from the stained glass, the lights down there in the kitchen, and of course these chairs. I love the way it contrasts to this fabulous table.
A lot of people actually love the fact that the table's so big because they're specifically coming to have a big family meal.
The more opportunity you can give your guests to kind of gather in spaces and each have a seat, that's amazing.
I didn't want to blow out all the walls and lose a sense of coziness.
I love this sitting room. It's so warm, cozy, inviting.
Thank you.
And this fireplace is gorgeous. Can you tell me more about the fireplace?
Yeah, that was a fluke, actually. When we were shopping for the bathtub, I saw that. It's the perfect period for the house, but it didn't come with the house.
Oh, wow.
So we bought it locally, but it was very dinged up, and it was kind of a weird dark blue.
Yeah.
As soon as I painted it grey, it was just,
Yeah, it just kind of made sense.
It's home.
It's really lucky that you found something that kind of would fit in as well. And all this tile work is in really great condition.
Yeah, we did get very lucky. I really love this sky blue here.
Yeah.
It's so pretty and almost modern looking.
Yeah.
It stops it from being too heavy.
That's so true.
Inviting communal spaces are key to making a group feel at ease. And this 3-floor house also has 5 welcoming bedrooms for 9 guests to feel right at home.
Nicely out of breath there with those stairs. It's a great walk up. There's a kind of breakup of space here. We've got 3 bedrooms up on this floor, a really lovely little kids' room, and then 2 larger bedrooms. What touches have you added to kind of make your guests feel comfortable?
I want it to be light, bright, playful. This bunting here is called shwe shwe. It's actually a South African cloth that's made in South Africa. I would say there's probably 4 or 5 or 6 countries represented in this room in terms of things that we bought on our travels.
I think it really marries well with what you've done throughout this house. There's just little pops of something interesting, something fascinating that makes me want to know what's behind it. And I think that's a really smart thing to do for your guests as well, because it's going to help them remember this space.
I hope so. Part of my unique offering, if you like, is the sense of being in a real home with accumulated items. But one of the challenges of hosting is finding that balance. You want people to feel very much at home, but you don't want them to feel like they're in somebody else's home.
Absolutely. This is a large home, but it feels cozy. Abby's done a great job at marrying vintage with modern design. Everywhere you go, there's something with a story, but it doesn't feel like it belongs to someone else. I love that there are fabulous spaces for families to come together. The communal spaces here have been really well designed. Abby's really thought about the experience that her guests are going to have here, and it shows. I can see why this is such a successful short-term rental.
The short-term rental market is perfect for guests who want to sample someone else's life. Families can get comfortable in Abby's oversized home, crafted and curated with love. And for groups of adults seeking a truly unique stay, our next homeowner is an artist who has designed a playground of curiosities inspired by her own fantasies.
This neighborhood mansion is iconic in the area. It's 6,000 square feet and can easily accommodate more than 15 guests.
The Darling Mansion was built in 1888 for one of the first women to practice medicine in the area.
Public hospitals in the way we know them now didn't really exist, and you would get a lot more of your medical care, if you got it at all, directly from a doctor. And that would often happen in the quarters of the doctor's own home.
Tanya Grossi describes herself as an artist, a dreamer, and a creator. She purchased the multi-story house with 2 investors 4 years ago. It was her vision to turn the home into an artist haven and creative space. Now, groups can rent this mansion for whatever tickles their fancy.
Oh, wow, where am I? Oh my God, I love these. This is very, very cool. This is such a great way to make a first impression. There's so much to look at here. I'm really excited to find out more from Tanya about this space.
Hey!
Hey!
I've seen you've already discovered one of the favorite pieces.
I'm gonna say, I'm sure everybody comes in and has a little swing on this thing.
Yes, but you're missing something. You need one of these. A kimono.
Ah, beautiful.
You cannot have a regular robe in a house like this.
Absolutely. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. There we go. Now I feel comfortable. Now I feel like I fit in with the surroundings. This den is incredible. There's a lot to take in.
Yes.
How did you get your hands on this amazing space?
I had this plan to do sort of an artist haven. I wanted to do it somewhere, though, hot, on a much smaller scale, but I got approached by somebody that knew that I was looking to acquire a space. The idea would be that I would live here, and then I would utilize the rest of the house for rental. I live on the main floor, and then there's 4 rooms on the second floor that you can rent individually. You can also rent the whole house. When you rent the whole house, I leave, so you get my floor. I use that time to travel, which is a thing that I love doing. A lot of the stuff that's in the house comes from my traveling.
Your collections here are fantastic from what I can see and really add kind of you. It's your living museum, let's call
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
And it was important for you to keep some of these gorgeous Victorian features, I'm assuming, because you've really sort of celebrated and highlighted them,
Yeah.
I can tell.
Let me show you around.
Can't wait to see it.
It is a very unique property. People aren't really necessarily looking for privacy when they're looking for a vacation rental. They're looking to really meet people and experience locations like a local. And so that sort of trend has really created a whole new breed of vacation rentals around the world.
Oh, wow. This is obviously the opium den.
It is.
I love this dark ceiling and the wallpaper. It's so rich and sort of seductive.
Yeah.
What's your favorite element in this room?
I'd say one of them would have to be the canopy bed. One of the mottos I have for the home and for the rooms is you are where you sleep. So you wake up in this bed, you're gonna feel like a king or a queen. It's the largest room. It has a private walkout balcony and it has its own ensuite.
It looks like a really voyeuristic space.
Yeah.
Was that an intent there for you?
Yeah, so people outside can actually see you showering if you want. Otherwise, you can cover that. Also, whoever you're in the room with, if they're on the couch or on the bed, they can see you showering.
So I'm sure people have had fun with this space.
Definitely. It's a lot of fun. People have, their love has been rekindled. There's been marriage proposals. Their secret fantasies have come out. So that's the other reason it's one of the most popular.
You're all about giving your guests experiences.
Yeah.
What other experiences and what other rooms do you have?
The next one we would have is called the Magic Carpet Ride. So
Okay.
I always wanted a bed hanging from the ceiling, so I had that bed custom made.
I want to take a look.
Yes.
Can I go see it?
Let's go.
Okay.
And this is the Magic Carpet Ride.
Oh, wow. This is a first for me. A swinging bed.
Yes.
It's just another great way to give your guests such unique experiences.
Exactly.
Have you slept in here?
I have. It's playful. It kind of sways you to sleep. It's actually one of my favorite rooms. The best sleep I've had and the best dreams I've had is in this room.
In each of these spaces, did you have a clear vision for each room?
I did have a plan that each bed would be different. You've got a hanging bed, which is the Magic Carpet Ride. Then there's the opium den, which has a canopy bed. There's the boudoir, which has the mirror over the bed. The beds are all different in every room because I definitely wanted rooms that were my fantasy bedrooms. Now, I have like probably 20 fantasy bedrooms, but I got to pick 4 for this house. And then everything else in the rooms came together in terms of the painting, the murals, the artwork, the pieces.
So do you find people come back to the same room again and again, or do they like to try out different spaces each time they come?
Most people definitely can't wait to come back to try out the other rooms. The fun of it is to play with all the different facets of their personality, which is great, because then I know that I'm offering something that doesn't bore people and they can constantly come back and have a new experience and have some more fun.
I have to try this out. Okay. I thought it would feel more rocky, but it is really calming,
subtle.
like
it's
you
very
said.
subtle, yeah.
I do feel like I'm floating.
Yeah.
This Victorian mansion is a feast for the eyes. It's sexy and seductive and very cool. There's a great first impression. There's great communal spaces. Each of the bedrooms has its own unique identity. Tanya has thought about everything her guests could need. She's curated stuff from all around the world, making sure that in every room she gives her guests a new experience. I'm calling this an eclectic masterpiece. It's an adult playground. And although the house is well situated in the city, once you're here, it's like you'd never want to leave.
Traveling with a large group means lots of different needs. Families wanting the comfort of home can choose Abby's sizable Victorian, and those who are more interested in new experiences can try out one of Tanya's chic and sexy rooms in the Darling Mansion.
This next urban home was designed and built by the owner. It's a great space for entertaining large groups. It sleeps 10 and can accommodate 30 for dinner, and it comes with some super luxurious touches.
The Evergreen Estate is large and luxe. This property was completely designed and built by the owner, Tracy Lee Fines, an interior designer. Tracy created the space with nature in mind, wanting to bring the outside in. Big groups looking for a high-end stay need look no further.
Wow, what a phenomenal first impression. I love seeing green spaces inside, and so tactile as well. And in an entryway like this, where they've used wood and metal and phenomenal lighting, it just creates such an inviting space. I can't wait to see more. Hey, Tracy.
Hi.
I have been gushing over that moss wall in your entryway. It is beautiful.
Everybody has the same response.
It's such a great first impression.
Thank you.
So you decided to build this house from scratch, is that right?
Correct.
What was the vision for the space when you first started?
Being a designer, I wanted to create a home that was very, very welcoming when you walked in. I really put a lot of emphasis on tactile materials that are very interesting, and then contrasting them with each other. And that's why when you come in, you have such a sensory experience.
You obviously originally designed this house to be your own personal family space, and then you decided to turn it into a short-term rental. Why do short-term rentals versus a longer-term lease?
Well, we live here,
Okay.
so I can only do short term.
So what happens when you have people booked in?
It's an opportunity to have a family vacation. They're booking our house, and we're booking someone else's house.
Do you leave all of, the kids' items and stuff? Do they get packed away? Do they stay in the space for other people to enjoy?
It's a big family. I have 3 kids. So we aren't able to pack everything away. We make room in the closets so they can hang up some of their clothes. All our clothes stay here. We're not taking them away. So if they want to try on my shoes, go for it.
That's great. I love that you're comfortable sharing that private space. I think that makes this really unique as well. What you enjoy is also what your guests will enjoy, and I think that's a genius approach.
Thank you.
Tell me about some of the design choices you made here.
So this is a real great chef's kitchen with lots of high-end appliances, coffee, espresso, blenders, everything you need.
And I can't help as well but notice that very cool herb garden in the counter.
Yes.
I have never seen that before.
I've cut a hole out into the top, and I've turned it into a Lazy Susan. In the meantime, you have this bowl that's in the top now, and I plant it with my herbs. This actually comes out, and I have another bowl that I can mix a salad in.
If you're having a party, you could throw ice in, bottles of wine. Such a great idea. And again, it's a really kind of memorable moment for anyone staying here. Like, I would be taking pictures of that and posting it on social media for sure.
That's exactly what happens.
Tracy's functional design makes this home ideal for guests who can seamlessly take over the space and relax from the moment they step inside.
I don't think that people are staying in vacation rentals as a substitute to hotels because of the price. I think they're thinking about it because of the value that vacation rentals offer. And that's typically more amenities, more square footage, more authentic experience.
It's so exquisite in here. I see all these touches of green everywhere, and it's a great way to bring the outside in. Was that an important element for you?
Absolutely. I am a nature girl at heart, and I wanted my home to reflect that. I wanted to bring in the rustic materials, the tactile surfaces, the recycled woods. I really wanted to make it a great, relaxed and tranquil retreat.
This dining room table here is also a great accomplishment. I think it works probably for you and your family as well as guests.
You probably wouldn't believe it, but I can actually entertain 30 people here.
Wow.
It is a large rental. It's 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. Every bedroom has an ensuite bath. You need to be a group if you want to really get the great bang for your buck.
So what do people really react to as they come into the space?
The pool. When they see the pictures of the pool, they want this house.
Yeah, in the summer, I could absolutely see myself spending a lot of time out there and hanging in the cabana. It's such a great experience to have while staying here.
I want them to have the most luxurious experience when they're in my home.
On the upper 2 floors of this luxe mansion are 5 bedrooms, each with their own ensuite. The master retreat includes a large dressing room and spa bathroom that dreams are made of.
Oh my God, I love this room. This is another level of luxury. You keep all these clothes in here even when guests are staying?
Yes.
Wow, you are a brave lady. But what a fantastic space to offer guests. This must be the bedroom.
It is.
Oh my goodness. This is such a beautiful, serene space.
Thank you.
What personal touches did you add to here?
Well, for me, it's all about the plushness of this space. This is the master. I want to feel so cocooned when I come in here. So I have, as you can see, all these luxurious materials. So you just feel so, like, hugged when you come in here.
Yeah, it's tactile. It's
yes.
like, get in, cozy up, snuggle
right,
down.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. Are all of the bedrooms like this, or do they have different themes?
No, they're all very different. Obviously, I designed them for my kids. Families that are renting the space are going to love it here because they're going to have something for everybody in their family.
I really love what you've done here. I think you completely hit it on the head.
Thank you.
Tracy has done a beautiful job designing this space and captures both what her family needs, but also what renters are looking for. This is a large house. It sleeps 10 people. The space is well laid out. It's perfect for entertaining. The kitchen is phenomenal, and the seating area is warm and inviting. I would love to bring my family here, but I could also see myself hosting a party or having a girls' weekend. There are so many fantastic extra elements throughout this house. This all adds up to make this the ultimate in luxury living. I've seen 3 really different properties, and they all share one thing in common, which is that they can accommodate large groups of people. Abby's beautiful Victorian mansion was a really family-friendly space. She favored handcrafted details and decorated with her heart and a focus on family. In contrast, the darling mansion lets artists and adults feel at home in one of Tanya's fantasy bedrooms. The Evergreen Estate is a luxury home. It's got everything that a hotel could offer, but more. Tracy spent a lot of time designing this space so that it functions for her family as well as the guests. There are a lot of generic short-term rentals, but what I've learned here is that it pays to be particular. With endless opportunities for homeowners to create unique places for renters to stay, there's truly something for everyone.
When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. You know that feeling you get when you stumble across a hidden gem? Walking down an urban alleyway and seeing a super cool secret store, restaurant, or home? On this episode, I'm going to take a look at 3 properties that you would never know are there. The first place is a neighborhood gem hidden inside a reimagined historic carriage house.
Our motto is your home away from home.
Next is a garden hideaway with a surprising splash of color and an entrance that shines.
This place feels like a little jewel box, like you're opening a present.
The final property is a secluded loft above a residential garage that's been decorated from dumpster diving.
This was going to the garbage at one point. I saved it from its death, and I brought it here.
As more people are ditching the traditional 2-week annual vacation and taking more frequent, shorter getaways, city breaks are gaining in popularity. And with over 4 million short-term rentals across the globe, there's plenty of choice in any urban center. But the thrill of discovering a secret spot and staying off the radar makes for a special kind of getaway.
People love a hidden space. They love that thing that you can't see from the street. You know, it's sort of like the speakeasy of vacation rentals, you know? Like, I can't believe that was, you know, in that house or behind that house or behind that wall.
City living is expensive. Clever homeowners are repurposing unused spaces to create unique and unexpected rentals for guests. Whether it's a luxury backyard building or a sweet secret walkout, hidden short-term rentals are in high demand. As a property developer, transforming spaces is what I'm all about. The guys that own this property have converted their backyard carriage house into a short-term rental. At 85% occupancy year-round, they're hitting all their targets. I want to know what their formula for success is. This carriage house was built in the late 1880s and is hidden in Louis Philippe and Tyrone's backyard.
In the 19th century, that would have been where the horses were. And all of the mess and the smells would have made this not a particularly pleasant place to live. But in fact, people did live back there, even if it wasn't the most comfortable.
One door leads to the garage, and the second reveals a surprising apartment. The carriage house can be accessed from the laneway or the back patio.
Good morning.
Hey, Louis Philippe, tell me about this chandelier. It's gorgeous.
Well, thank you. When we renovated the place, we replaced the furnace, and these are the old pipes. And we even kept this service tag from 1994.
And I can't believe you made this yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Are there other elements in the house that you've kind of made yourself? You've injected your own sort of handmade personality?
There's a lot of touches that are very personal all around the property.
Tell me a little bit about how your guests find the space.
Well, when they arrive, we meet them on the side, and then they come through this sort of darkened alley. And then what's nice is when they do get into the backyard, it sort of just opens up.
Yeah, it's definitely very unexpected, and I think that that's one of its charms. When you purchased the house, the carriage house was already here, but it looked quite different. Is that right?
Yes, we had a tenant at the time, and when she left after 7, 8 years, we modernized everything. New kitchen, new bathroom, new floors.
And I could tell, you know, from the minute I walked in, I could see there was some substance here and some real quality. Are you happy you made the transition to short-term rental?
Oh, yes. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. We meet great people from around the world. We often sit down with our guests. We have a little glass of wine. You know, we haven't looked back since we did it.
It's amazing. As I look around the space, I can see elements of things from around the world. Like there seems to be a really great salt collection and oils and coffee. Do you travel a lot?
I travel a lot for my job. You know, wherever I travel, I constantly am thinking, what can I bring back for the guest house?
Yeah, so you've really thought about how people are going to interact with the space and make sure they've got everything they need.
And that's why we offer them a bottle of wine, some sweets, sometimes it's bread. We have a collection of teas and coffees and hot chocolates and all of that, and pots and pans. Everything's equipped.
Simple touches are a great addition, and they're usually very cost-effective. You can add in, a bottle of wine, nice soaps, some nice things in the kitchen. They're not gonna get used very often, but surprise and delight guests right when they walk into the house. It is a really easy way to start their trip in a great fashion.
Our motto is your home away from home.
I really like what you've done down here, and now I'm excited to get upstairs. So
let's go.
Come on, let's have a look.
Let's go. There you go.
Oh, wow. Look at this space. I can see everywhere I turn that there are personal touches. My eye's drawn to these really lovely coasters here, which are, again, a kind of nod to the area that we're in.
This is a photograph of the
your
street corner. Yes, I took the photograph, and I actually made the coasters.
Wow. And this piece is one of the things that I'm absolutely in love with.
Thank you.
Tell me about this.
Well, this piece is the same artist who made the bed and the end tables, and this is our stash of, movies.
So you have it all covered. Is that a medical bag in the corner there?
One of the things that we wanted to do is give our guests anything for stomach aches and little boo-boos, and it's all in here. And I was at this little shop, and I saw an old medical bag, and I figured what's better than
It's great. It's such a kind of a historical kind of nod once again.
Yeah, sure.
I can't not talk about this bed, which looks super cozy. It's very inviting.
This is a custom-made bed. And we have a beautiful mattress, then we have a gel topper to make it very comfortable. We iron the sheets. This is a nice blanket from Ecuador. And that changes also. Now we have the winter cushions, but in the spring we'll have completely custom-made cushions, more in the summer, different ones in the fall.
One of the other things I really love here is you seem to have spent a lot of attention in the washroom. There's gorgeous fixtures and gorgeous finish. That tile is impeccable.
Washrooms are supposed to be serene and spa-like. We have creams from France, Ecuador, Brazil. And so the whole idea is, you're in your home here.
You've given them the comforts of a hotel, but it's better because they have extra amenities and extra luxurious items, and then all of your handmade touches, I think, make this place really special. Having this short-term rental, has that sort of impacted and changed your lives in any significant way?
Tyrone left his job, and it's become quite a full-time job. And, what's really nice is we've been together for 32 years, if you can believe it. And it's nice that so late in our relationship, we still find a way of connecting with each other by doing this thing, this guest house, which is very much our own project.
I think that's really lovely. I really love this space and could totally see myself spending time here.
Your home away from home.
Oh, well, thank you for showing me around. What I love is that this is hidden from the street. You would never know it was here. And then you walk down the alleyway and you're met by this fantastic carriage house. But then you step inside and it's new and modern, very bright and very fresh. I love how the guys have decorated this space and kind of added elements of history, but also lots of new, comfortable items. I love the handmade touches especially. That chandelier, when we first walk in, is so inventive. They've paid a lot of attention to the way that their guests are going to use and experience this space. You're welcomed by some cupcakes and a bottle of wine and snacks upstairs right next to your bed. And it feels like a hotel, but better. It's almost like it's the neighborhood's best-kept secret.
Short-term rentals allow people to customize their time away from home, creating a one-of-a-kind experience. And for those who dream of sleeping in a secret garden, this next space delivers with color and creativity. The idea for this next hidden space came to the owner in a dream. Penny rents out her basement as a self-contained unit, using the rental income to make the rest of her house more affordable for her to live and work in. Penny purchased this property as a live-work space. The lower unit has a hidden entrance marked by a welcoming bright green door.
great hooks. So creative. Oh my goodness, look at this tile. I'm gonna have to get a selfie with this later.
This one-bedroom, one-bath basement hideaway is inspired by the childlike joy of a kaleidoscope. Penny provides welcome cupcakes in a fully stocked kitchen for a handcrafted experience.
Penny,
Hey!
that tile in the entryway, it is incredible.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
And have you always decorated with such color? Like, one of the things I loved as soon as I walked in here was the energy.
I love to work with color and textiles and textures. I wouldn't say that I use this much color in my own space, but as a destination space, I think you want things that are a bit more special.
Yeah.
And so this place feels like a little jewel box, like you're opening a present.
I love the fact sometimes with short-term rentals, you can break the rules and you can kind of just follow your gut. And I love the fact that you've done that. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to create this gorgeous space.
The inspiration really came from a dream, and I didn't realize it until after the fact, but I knew I couldn't keep renting the space out as an apartment. And when I started to develop the space, I realized that I was actually recreating the dream.
That's really, really cool. What else did you have to do when you kind of transitioned to a short-term rental?
So the very first thing you see when you walk in, that gold mosaic tile.
It's gorgeous.
I ripped all of the old tile off and put that stuff up there. I helped install the kitchen cabinetry. I painted every surface in this house. I moved a closet. I put in a workspace. My hands have been all over this.
It's nicer, but I think it can show, you know, whenever you put your sort of personal stamp on a space, and even if you're involved in the renovations, I think that it just sort of helps bring us something a little extra to the space.
When a house like this was built, the basement would have been an unattractive place. It would have been damp, it would have been dank, and if people used it for anything, it really would have been for such things as cold storage. But with the technologies that we have in our houses these days, even a basement can be made to be warm enough, dry enough, and comfortable enough to provide an adequate living space.
So what was it that drew you to the short-term rental market?
I felt like my renters were not really appreciating what was being offered here. And the opportunity to meet new people and to bring about a space that was going to bring more quality of life for me was interesting. It's more playful for me. And I also get to maintain the health of the house because I can come down here, because I clean the space. I know it's clean. I know the house is healthy. It is so gratifying to have people appreciate the space. Renters didn't appreciate it quite that same way.
So do you interact quite a lot with your guests, or how are you kind of fairly hands-off?
Many guests like to just be left alone, and that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Everybody's privacy is important, mine included. But there are some times when people want to introduce me to their foods, or they just want to say thank you. And I've gone for dinner with guests. I've also had them cook for me here, which is an absolute treat.
Yeah, that's such a great way to be able to kind of interact and learn about new cultures, and you're sharing your space and they're sharing a bit of themselves as well.
Yeah.
It's a really nice exchange. It sounds to me like hosting is something you're really, really enjoying versus being a landlady.
Absolutely. I get to provide the environment that they feel taken care of in. So when they come in, the fridge is stocked. There's fresh fruit in there. There's all kinds of treats in the cupboard. So it's a little bit of, I get to be a little bit of a mum, though I'm not a mum. And then I disappear.
You've gone the extra mile to make sure that they're comfortable, right? Kind of give them a special stay. I can't help but keep looking over to this fabulous wallpaper that I can see in the bedroom at the back of the house here. Can we take a closer look?
Let's do that.
Wow, this is a great room.
Not exactly the great room, but it is a great room. It is a basement, but it might as well feel like something magical.
I mean, that's another thing I like about this space. We are in a basement, but at no time have I ever felt like we were underground.
No.
You know, you've kind of injected so much light with all the color that you've used.
Yeah, it just happened that way.
What came first? Did you find the wallpaper and then build the room, or did you kind of set out to go and find some wallpaper?
I actually found the bed first. I could not get this bed out of my mind. But then I found the wallpaper, and that's what's been going on with this whole space from the beginning, is things have been pulling together and making absolute sense. So the wallpaper came together with the garden bed, and this pupa sort of cocoon light that everything just kind of fell together. And even the carpet's like a spider web. So yeah, it's a magical garden experience in here.
No one's going to leave and not remember this space.
It feels like you're really in a garden and in a very safe cocoon.
It's kind of like a magical garden, really.
It's a very magical garden.
So the other space that you had to kind of do a little bit of work on when you transitioned from the long-term space into the short-term rental was the washroom.
Yeah, I had to do some work around the faucet. And when my contractor was doing what he needed to do to replace the faucet, he found that the wall behind it was rotten. So he came in to do what was a small job. I came down later in the morning, and the whole bathroom was rubble.
I think you've done a wonderful job in there. It's kind of very luxurious, simple, clean. I can see you really enjoyed renovating this space.
I did. It was a gas to do it. I loved playing with all of the color, all of the textures. To make a space that feels really different and really special was a treat.
It was a dream come true. This space has a great energy from the minute you walk in the door and you're greeted by those fantastic gold mosaic tiles. Penny's injected so much of her own personality into this space with the use of bold colors and texture. I love how from the front door I got a secret glimpse of that fabulous wallpaper. It kind of teased me into the space and then drew me right to the back of the house so I could check it out. The space offers complete privacy with its very own front door that's concealed from the street. Penny's personal touches, like the fully stocked fridge or even the cupcakes she left out for me today, make this a really inviting and special place to stay. One of the reasons this property works for me is because it's a real hidden gem. From the street, you'd never suspect that there's a beautiful boutique suite full of color, whimsy, and fun.
Homeowners are creating and crafting unused spaces into rentals, giving guests the opportunity to experience neighborhoods like a local. You could choose to stay in a laneway carriage house or hide away in a secret garden of color. The next property is perfect for people who want to get lost in a totally hip vibe. This next urban hideout is an incredible use of space. It's a non-traditional unit above a residential garage, and it's great for parties, with loads of open plan space and no neighbors to hear you. Finding this place is a real challenge. Down an alleyway, tucked among a row of garages, anyone walking by wouldn't look twice at this hidden gem.
This has got to be the place. Yellow door, yellow arrows, very cool. Let's check it out.
Jose bought this industrial building 15 years ago. It's massive, and he uses the extra space to make some extra income through short-term rentals.
This is it. Jose, what an amazing space.
Well, thank you.
This really is a well-hidden spot. It was quite the adventure to find it, but I'm glad I did because it's quite spectacular in here. How tall are these ceilings?
They're about 13 feet. Yeah.
I love that it's all still so exposed.
Yes, it's fun.
I really like the way you've done that in this space. You've struck a balance and you haven't kind of gone too over the top in making sure everything's really finished.
Yes, yes.
And it sort of adds to the kind of depth and the rawness of this space.
It's like me, I'm not completely finished. I need to have, there's a little edge here still, you know? And it's not cookie cutter by any means.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has become really easy to have generic places these days that has the same furniture and the same wall decorations that you've seen a million times before. And people typically will scroll right past that property and look for something that has a personal touch.
What made you want to sort of share this with renters?
Well, I had a child, and he's 3 years old now, and I moved in next door back to the apartment.
And was there a reason you picked the short-term rental market versus having a longer-term tenant in here?
Well, one, I can keep an eye on each unit.
Yeah, it gives you more access to the space and
more income.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that helps. Tell me a little bit more about what you had to do to get this ready for short-term rent. What were the renovations you had to do?
The bathroom was done. You know, has heated floors. It's funky. The bathroom's quite large. It's modern yet old. The sink, it was a real challenge in the sense that I had so much space to play with. I couldn't get a countertop that would fit there, so I had it custom cut. And I got the cornice from an old Victorian house.
It's a really nice handmade element.
Yes, yes.
It makes that kind of bathroom real pop and makes it feel really special.
Yes, yeah. Modern yet quirky.
Absolutely. The furniture in here is really interesting. What's your approach to finding these pieces?
Collecting garbage.
Collecting garbage.
That's right.
So literally all salvaged, reclaimed.
Yes, salvaged, reclaimed. This was going to the garbage at one point. I saved it from its death.
Okay.
And I brought it here.
So this is 600 square feet. So
Yes.
you have a lot more space on this floor.
I do.
What else is...
My apartment's next door.
I would love to take a look.
Absolutely.
Let's
go.
And across the hall, he rents out a room in his own home as well.
Jose, wow, you've been holding out on me. Look at this space. You even have a grand piano in your entryway. Wow. This is so impressive. Tell me about that incredible fire there. Was that original to the space?
It was original. It was in a different location of the building. And I love its character. If you look at it carefully, it's got lots of charm.
That's very cool. And I love how you've got this really modern, luxurious kitchen that is surrounded by so many wonderful collector's items.
Yeah, it's surrounded by beaten up furniture, yeah.
That you're finding all these hidden treasures and giving them a new lease on life and celebrating and sharing them with your guests. And how do you feel about sharing your own personal space with guests?
Oh, I love it. It's fantastic. I made new friends. This year we had Christmas at this table here, and it was fun because we all interact.
That's really one of the benefits of doing short-term rental versus just having tenants that you don't interact with.
No, exactly.
I mean, this table is fantastic. It's another great use of like industrial materials, and none of your guests are ever going to be able to break that.
No, not really. The guy that was helping me renovate wanted to throw it in the garbage, but Captain Garbage wouldn't allow it. You know, I said, let's figure out a place for it.
So how do people react to the space?
There's always different reactions, but typically people they're happy to see something different, eclectic, it's unexpected. And when you come into a place that's unexpected, you light up a little bit, so it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I completely lit up when I came into the space. Not only because there's such volume in here with these tall ceilings, but also because you have kind of set up so many different areas that draw your eye. It's fascinating, so you kind of want to come in and explore, and I think that's a really great kind of scenario for guests.
Yeah, it's a buffet of different ideas.
Oh, I love that. It is. It really is. So I would love to kind of have a little bit more of an explore. I know there's so many more things for me to see here.
There's more hidden little secrets around here.
Let's take a look.
One of the things I love about this place is how hidden it is. I could walk back and forth past this place a million times and never know what incredible rental space is inside. And that's what makes these hidden spaces so much fun. Waiting inside is a phenomenal urban space full of surprising items that celebrate decades of loft living. I love that Jose has embraced the original features of this loft and enhanced them with his own repurposed furniture. If I were looking to stay in a really cool, unconventional space, this would be a great choice.
I've seen 3 incredible short-term rental properties. They're all so different, but share one common theme. These homeowners have had the vision to turn unused space into a unique rental opportunity. These spaces are all hidden from plain sight, and it's been such a treat to discover and explore these fantastic properties. I've seen a lovely carriage house on 2 floors with an impressive spiral staircase and loads of personal touches. A well-curated basement apartment filled with bold color that was quirky and inviting. And 2 cool loft spaces that mix modern, industrial, and historical decor in a totally unexpected place. As a property developer, I'm fascinated by how other people approach their projects. And what I've seen here are 3 completely different properties that prove the more unique the space, the more desirable it is to the short-term rental market.
When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. I'm going to be looking at 3 properties that have all been specifically renovated for the short-term rental market. These homeowners have given their spaces a new lease on life, adding unique elements to make their accommodation stand out from the rest. Our first homeowner is a designer who renovated a fixer-upper into a welcoming space for travelers.
The home inspector was just laughing. None of the framing was actually attached to itself.
Then 2 property managers fixed the bones of an urban loft, remodeling it into an impressive space for guests.
All of the walls had holes in them. There were electrical outlets coming out. There was a leaky ceiling from the roof in the other room.
Finally, an owner renovates a former barbershop into a polished place to stay.
This is really kind of genius.
Oh, thank
Such
you.
a simple idea.
With up to 2 million properties rented out nightly around the world, competition is tough for hosts wanting to attract guests to their properties. To capture the market, homeowners are renovating their spaces specifically to appeal to short-term renters.
When you're thinking about a vacation rental property, it's much different than thinking about renovations for a typical residential home. The thought is kitchen first, bathroom second, and that's where you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck. But with a vacation rental, you have so much more to add to that space, and that space is more about the furnishings, the beds, the design, the artwork that you can add to the property.
The scope for renovating is endless, and homeowners are creating beautiful, one-of-a-kind spaces. The owner of this home is a designer by profession, and inside, it really shows. Sarah has completely renovated this property into a gorgeous retreat that attracts visitors from around the world.
So this house would have been built for one family, but houses like this across the city have shown themselves to be flexible, being divided up into apartments and then being brought back into single-family use again, and then sometimes going back the other way.
Sarah renovated a home to make 2 separate units, with a master plan to rent one of them out to short-term guests. This allows her to make extra income and enjoy her entire home when it's vacant.
Wow, what a great space. I love this window. And this art on the wall, it's so well curated. Everything here is intentional. I'm gonna find Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Katie.
Your living room is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm excited to see everything else, but
Yeah.
tell me about the layout of the space.
So I live upstairs and I rent out this suite. I use it for my in-laws, I use it for guests, and then I use it myself when I don't have anyone staying here.
Cool, so it's a really flexible space for you.
It is.
The apartment that you rent out is on 2 floors?
It's on 2 floors, so it's on the main and basement.
And why did you want to do a short-term rental versus having tenants in this space?
So I've had the house for 10 years, and I was just sort of over having tenants. I'm trying to do this short-term rental as a way to make money to renovate it completely, and I actually get to enjoy it between guests.
When you first took possession of this house, what did it look like?
It was a little ridiculous. So all of the trim was metallic gold, ceiling popcorn everywhere. The floor in the kitchen and then the front hall had a million different colors of granite and marble and travertine just smashed together. My backyard was an actual jungle. The home inspector was just laughing and using his clipboard as kind of a machete to fight his way through the weeds. In the basement, there had been a flood. We had to do a ton of cleanup. There were satanic symbols carved into the stone walls, and the bathroom was just a disaster. It had a jacuzzi tub that when you stood in it didn't allow room for a shower, and none of the framing was actually attached to itself. So
Wow.
that's the reason there was no competition when I went to buy this place.
Well, I mean, it sounds horrendous, but also a great opportunity for you to kind of really make your mark and do a huge transformation.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit more about what you did in the kitchen, because that took quite a lot of work, right?
It did. I put concrete over the countertops and stainless steel, the backsplash. The floor was just all kinds of colors, so I just got some neutral colored epoxy and went over it, and it's industrial, low VOC, and so it's safe and sealed, and it's a lot easier to clean now.
So during the renovation, you were clearly very hands-on.
Yes.
What were your favorite projects?
I think planking the walls and just modernizing it a little bit, but still giving it sort of a rustic feel because it is an old house.
My eye's drawn to this very cool newspaper.
Yeah.
What's the history behind that?
It was actually rolled up in the ceiling pre-renovation, so it's a newspaper from 1947.
See, I love that about these old houses. It's a great way to date the house.
Yeah, it's a bit of a time capsule.
So tell me about who typically rents this space.
It's actually all kinds of people. I can't even put like a pin in sort of one type. It's really all over the place. It's really nice.
And I think that's probably testament to the kind of design work you've done here because it appeals to everybody and it's gorgeous and inviting to whoever wants to stay here.
Thanks. Why don't I show you the rest of the space?
Yes, please.
Homes are where people have most of their assets in their lives, right? And so when you can actually take money from vacation rental travelers, reinvest that into your home, you know, you're really creating wealth for the future.
Oh, wow. This is nice.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing because we are in a basement, but it feels really bright and airy.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it light and fresh. I used all white, white oak, and then just warm texture on the floor. So rather than get out of bed and put your feet on cold concrete, I just use carpet towels. They're easy to clean if anything should happen, and it gives me access to the basement backflow drain.
Yeah, these are great. The washroom is also down in this space.
Yes. Because it's sort of a small space, I wanted the design to flow. So again, the walls are planked in there, which I did myself, and I customized some furniture. So the vanity, I added a marble top and a vessel sink. And the mirror I made myself. I ordered this thick rope from England and wrapped it around just an off-the-shelf mirror and made it into a custom mirror. And I think it really warms up the cooler materials of the bathroom.
Absolutely. So tell me about your occupancy rate. How popular is this space?
I think just given the location and from the feedback I've had, just what I've done with the space, it makes people come back. So I've had people come back 3 or 4 times. Usually I sit around 80% occupancy, which still leaves me some time in between to use the space for myself and for my family. So it's been really great in terms of flexibility.
And a guest staying for kind of a couple of days or weeks at a time, how do people usually use the space?
So since my only laundry is located in this unit, I kind of limit it to 2 weeks at a time because if I run out of clothes, I have to go shopping. So I do limit it, and it does allow me just some nice breaks in between. Even though I love having the space to myself, I appreciate what this has given me. So it's been a great opportunity not only just to host people from around the world, but also just to reinvest in the thing that is the closest to me, which is my house.
This is a gorgeous urban cottage filled with lots of handmade artistic decor. I love Sarah's design approach here. She's picked a really subtle palette and then added loads of punch with memorable items like the newspaper or the kit chandelier. The renovation was a deliberate plan to attract guests and maximize bookings. I also admire the way she's renovated the space, really taking on a lot of the work herself. Sarah had the forethought to buy a diamond in the rough and meticulously polish it to create a beautiful short-term rental. I can see why guests are keen to book this space. Homeowners are renovating their spaces to showcase their creativity and attract visitors. Sarah's handcrafted house has been renoed to feel like a home away from home, while the next property has been revamped to rent to those who've always wanted to live in a cool loft space. Lofts have become a trendy way to stay in urban areas, but renovating old warehouses into habitable living spaces is not for the faint-hearted. The very things that make them aesthetically desirable can be practically challenging. Large, drafty windows, unfinished concrete floors and ceilings, the location of power and plumbing, and whether the building has adequate insulation are all considerations.
The last thing you want from a rental property is a property that requires a lot of extensive work, like electrical and plumbing or structural. Those are things that will eat up a huge percentage of your budget, and the guest who's renting your space won't necessarily appreciate that investment.
This loft is massive and bright and full of potential. But when property managers Daniel and Kendra got involved, the place required a deep dive into renovation. This is one of several properties the duo oversee, and it's an excellent example of how to renovate for rent.
It's had a complete overhaul from the leaky long-term rental it once was, and now it's fit for the short-term rental market. Let's take a look inside. Wow, Dan, this is massive in here. What a really nice open space.
Thank you.
This is a client's space, is that right?
Yeah, so basically what we do is we cater mostly to people that own multiple properties and don't necessarily have the time or the desire to manage it themselves. We take it off their hands, totally redesign it, we refurnish it, and then we post it for them.
Wow, so this is a full-time job for you.
Pretty much, yeah.
As people are looking online, what is it that you think grabs them and kind of draws attention to your properties specifically?
So there's two factors to that. The first one is obviously the fact that this is totally unique. The second thing are the reviews. Because no matter how great of a host you are and how great your property looks, if you do not have a 5-star review, people are not going to book your place, and the short-term rental websites are going to punish you on the algorithm and throw you back to page 19. So really at the beginning, you got to keep prices low to get people in and generate those reviews. But once they come and they see that it's super clean, which is often the most important review, that has a great location, that you're a great host, that you respond to any of their needs, and that everything is exactly like it was in the photos, then the 5-star reviews start coming in.
And that's a great tip. You know, already just sort of from turning my head around, I can see you've kind of done a great job. You had to do some fairly extensive renovations here, didn't you?
Coming in, it was definitely not inhabitable for short-term rental. All of the walls had holes in them. There were electrical outlets coming out. There was a leaky ceiling from the roof in the other room, in the bathroom. We actually had to basically tear out the whole surrounding area of the tub, fix out all the pipes and wiring underneath it. So it was definitely a lot of work that we had to put into it.
A lot of kind of the bones had to be fixed before you could start doing the pretty stuff.
Once we came in and we saw it, we knew that it was going to be different from every other spot that we rent out.
And your approach is that you do a lot of the work yourself. I think that's really smart. Like in my business as well, I do a lot of the stuff myself. And I think it's a way to kind of really keep the attention to detail that you need. And you're so focused on what you need for a short-term rental that you're the expert.
Exactly.
Once you'd finished the renovations here, what was the client's reaction? Were they happy?
The owners kind of freaked out. I don't think they believed that we were actually going to do everything that we told them we were going to do. They were just astonished at all the colors and the things we were able to fix with also such a low budget.
What were the kind of key components in this space that you guys added?
People don't want to stay in places that look like their home. You want to design a place where someone can go for a weekend and they can take photos, so they can throw it up on social media, they can show their friends. Maybe if they lived here for a month, they might get tired of all the bright colors, but for that weekend, it's really bright, it's really cheery, and it makes them feel good, and it gives them their money's worth.
Just such a great, wide open space with so much light. And I love how the walnut wood finishes here kind of balance out some of that hard industrial edge. It's kind of got a softer feeling to it.
Yeah, well, we find that there's two different things that people care about. There's the things they see, and then there's the things they touch. As far as the things they see go, you really don't need to put a lot of money into it. So you can put in a mirror that costs $20, a painting that was $50, but then when it comes down to the cooking utensils you use, the forks and knives, the throws and the pillows that you put on the couches, you want those to be a little bit more high-end because that's where they really feel like they're getting value for what they're paying.
I can tell with the linens and the towels in this space, that there's a kind of luxurious element to it.
Absolutely.
I love these glass doors. They work so well for this space.
It's actually one of my favorite parts about the whole unit.
Yeah, I think me too. And this bedroom is huge as well.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most unique features about this place is that it's very open and welcoming. You have big, wide rooms, not a lot of cluttered furniture, 10-foot-high ceilings.
I love that there's like a little desk area and a seating area, and this mid-century modern piece is fantastic.
Yeah, it just adds a nice, warm touch to the whole place.
Yeah, and it's smart. Like, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars buying custom furniture. Sometimes it's already out there and it's perfect for the space. I think that you guys have done such a great job and you've got your hands dirty and it really shows.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for showing me the space. It's beautiful.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Dan and his team have done a nice job here. Coming at this from a business perspective rather than a homeowner really helped them. They were able to be objective and really focused about who was going to rent this space and what those people needed. Sometimes you want a space that is so vastly different from your own home, and this is the kind of space that would give you that experience.
I love the industrial features here, these cement floors, the skylights. And then I like the way that they've softened the space. So they've added all these warm walnut touches everywhere, which means it doesn't feel cold and stark. In my spaces, I love to try and add one wow moment in every area. And I think that's something that they've done here. This really is a great example of a property that's been renovated to rent. Renovating a property with a creative vision is the best way to make a short-term rental stand out from the crowd. Creating a space that feels like home is one way to welcome visitors, and another is to craft a luxurious loft decorated and designed to inspire. This next property used to be a barbershop, but the owner did a quick 2-week renovation and transformed the space into a short-term rental. Now it offers guests a prime downtown location in a surprisingly large open-concept space. This 2-floor unit above a coffee shop was renovated rapidly, but with an eye for detail. Paul's vision was to create a warm and welcoming space. Guests would never know that they're resting their heads where others had them shorn.
Living above a commercial space, you may not want to live there all the time, but for a short-term stay, it's amazing because it puts you right in the center of it all, easy access to shops and restaurants, and you can walk to almost anything.
Hey, Paul.
Hello.
This is a great space.
Thank you.
There's so much light coming through these windows.
And it's so spacious in here.
Absolutely. Well, it used to be the barber shop, so there was really some great bones to work with.
So taking it from a barbershop to a short-term rental seems like quite the transition. How much work was involved?
It was a busy 2 weeks, I gotta say.
2 weeks? You did in 2 weeks?
I did. I had a timeline. I was going away with my family to Italy, and I decided if I'm going in all the way. So the biggest thing I did is sand down the floors to just make them look a little nicer and everything else. And I knew I couldn't do it later because of the dust and the mess. There was some repairs of moldings and things like that. We repainted everything. We had to go source all the furniture, had to install some of the lights, like in the dining room and that. And then I worked with a decorator, and she helped me get some of the painting and artwork.
I am very impressed that you were able to pull this together in just 2 weeks. You know, even if it's just finishing floors and painting, you know, just cleaning, and I'm sure getting rid of barbershop hair is a lot of work.
It was coming out for like days. I had cleaning crews coming in like day after day, mopping, finally just painted everything over. And really that was enough to get started. We had good linens, we had the beds and everything else. There was enough that I could get guests coming in and see if it was gonna be viable. And we realized very quickly that as a short-term rental with this location, being above the coffee shop, like people like that. There's a real cool factor. So it's working really well.
I would love to be able to stay here and then just pop down in the morning, grab a nice fresh brewed cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a real perk.
We actually, in the kitchen, we provide coffee beans and everything else, but almost no one uses it. Everyone loves going down and getting their coffee. I think, you know, some of the smells coming up and everything else. It seems to work. And then with time, I invested in more upgrades. So, for example, I changed the HVAC system. I had one air conditioner that was running the entire building. So I put in a ductless system, and that dropped my fees like 90% on hydro.
I love those ductless systems. They're great. And yeah, like you said, you saved a ton of money on utilities.
Absolutely. And now they set it how they want, and the downstairs coffee shop does its thing, and it works really well. Everyone's happy that way.
What's the big wow factor for people as they come into the space?
I think they love that they have all this space, the high ceilings, the dining room, and I think the attention to detail. People really seem to enjoy that.
Talk me through the rest of the space. So obviously we've got this great living room here, and I can sort of see through to the dining room. And then what's at the back of the space?
So at the back of the space, there's a bathroom, so 2 bathrooms in the unit, a nice kitchen that's quite self-contained, has everything they need. And then there's actually a quite spacious patio at the back as well with a barbecue. So
wow, what a bonus. And you do have a fabulous park, but it's so nice, as you said, to just be able to barbecue and have an intimate space in the middle of the city. I love that. Oh, wow, this is a great dining space.
Thank you.
I love this distressed table.
We really put furniture in when we were designing it that if it didn't work out, we'd want in our home as well.
Because it's distressed, it's great. If guests kind of batter it up a little bit, you'd never know, like it's part of the look. Right?
Absolutely.
The light fixture's great as well. It kind of really coordinates well with this table.
Yeah, that was another piece I was able to find. I installed myself, worked out well, and people love the Edison bulb, so we get some good comments on that.
This space really works for me.
Well, you've got to see upstairs.
Oh, let's go.
As well as making his guests feel comfortable, Paul also considered their convenience and privacy.
He's installed smart locks on the doors, allowing him to reset the code remotely. The lock also lets him know when guests have arrived, allowing him to send a perfectly timed greeting message.
I think one of the things that people overlook with home renovations these days is home automation. How are people getting into your home? Digital locks. How easy is it to set the thermostat? How easy is it to turn on the TV? When people are checking in, they don't want to be looking through long guidebooks. They really want to have everything at one touch of a button. They know how to use your house the moment they step into it.
The second floor has flexible sleeping arrangements. It can work for 2, 3, or 4 guests.
Oh, wow, Paul, this is another great space. I wouldn't have imagined there was so much room up here.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I get a lot of people that come in and they love the curtains. I put these in last year. I had some guests that were coming back. They were repeat guests, and for whatever reason, they both wanted to be on this level, but they said, what can you do to give us a little more privacy? And we kind of brainstormed together and came up with this idea, and they actually helped me install it, and it really worked well. They really liked it, and I've had so many guests comment on it since then, especially families traveling with kids. They put their kids here, and they close it off, so it just muffles the sound, a little darker for the kids to sleep, and they really like the fact that we have split levels. The parents can go down and have a glass of wine and enjoy the space downstairs, watch a show, so it really works well.
I do think this is really kind of genius.
Oh, thank you.
Such a simple idea.
And the next iteration is going to be putting glass blocks, I think. So the idea to have a little more soundproofing. As we can appreciate when it's 2 couples up here, it'd be nice to have a little more space and privacy.
Yeah, make it more of a kind of permanent 2-bed.
Exactly, but still keep the light and everything.
Was there much work you had to do in the bathroom?
I changed the shower curtain. As you'd see in a hotel, I put one of those soap dispensers for shampoos, soap, and conditioner. Had to get some nice rugs and towels, but it was really all cosmetic. There was no foundational plumbing work I had to do, which was nice.
So that's lucky. Like, it was already there, but you added all those kind of luxurious hotel-like features.
And I did it with time. I didn't have to have those at day one.
What are some of your other favorite features up here?
What I like is there's lots of little kind of private zones, which I think is nice. When you're traveling with your kids and that, it's great that everyone has their own space.
Do you find that families are typically the people that stay here, or have you had a kind of whole spread of different guests?
A whole spread. We've had people hosting, Thanksgiving dinners, barbecues. We've had so many interesting things. It's really been a fun journey.
So you don't regret for a minute that decision to turn it from a kind of commercial space into something that was a more flexible, short-term rental space?
Not at all. My fiance and I, we travel quite a bit, so we take advantage of short-term rentals when we travel. This is such a better experience, and we really enjoy it, and so we're just happy to give back a little bit.
I think this is a really impressive space. Thanks so much for showing me around.
Thanks for coming.
This rental is clean and contemporary, and Paul did a smart renovation to get this ready for rent. The transformation was quick, but the space had good bones, so he focused on the important elements, like the floors and the paint. The outdoor terrace is a real bonus in the summer months, and I love that it's above a popular coffee shop. Paul had the vision to take this from a commercial space into a successful parkside rental in less than a month. And I'm not surprised that guests are lining up to book this boutique space. I've seen 3 properties that have all been renovated to rent. They all had a vastly different approach in style and execution, but all 3 have accomplished their own unique goals.
In Sarah's home, her plan was to renovate into a flexible space. The 2 units can be occupied separately, but come together as one when the rental is vacant. With her beautiful design, she's created a space that would make any guest feel at home. In the loft, Dan has created a memorable, impactful space for travelers with vibrant pops of color, luxurious textures, and mid-century modern touches. The property managers focused on their target market and renovated specifically for short-term visitors. Paul has transformed the old barbershop into a hotspot for rentals. Guests coming into the city love to experience a neighborhood. And while you might not want to live there, staying on a commercial strip puts you right in the middle of the action.
What ties these rentals together is that these projects were transformed specifically with guests in mind, and the work was completed, for the most part, by themselves.
Renovating a property to rent is a surefire way to showcase creativity and a unique vision. When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. We're all dreaming of ways to have less impact on the environment, and renting out an eco-home is a way to experiment with that. Now, everyone can try it out because homeowners who are dedicated to green living are renting out some very cool spaces. This modern eco-home was handcrafted using wine bottles as building materials and old tires for insulation.
Do you know how many tires there are?
Yeah, over 1,000 tires went into this back.
And for a more rustic rental, this romantic log cabin is totally off-grid.
If you want the true settler's experience, go no power.
Finally, an urban loft filled with plants and upcycled furniture that provides a green living experience in an urban environment.
We want people to consider fixing something or recycling something as opposed to just buying something new.
Nowadays, living is all about excess, ease, and convenience. But many of us are waking up to how much energy we're wasting, and we're eager to do something about it. Eco-friendly short-term rentals are a great way for people to sample the green life without too much added expense or complication.
I think eco-friendly is a major trend, and I think people are going to be moving towards experiencing eco-friendly sorts of destinations and properties for years to come. I think it's still early in this trend, but I think people are looking for what it means, how people are doing it, and looking for ways to experience something outside of what their current housing looks like.
88% of hosts are incorporating elements of green living into their rentals, and an estimated 66% of guests appreciated the environmental benefits of home sharing. Green living showcases the creativity of homeowners and allows guests to get more down to earth. This homeowner had 100 volunteers help build this eco-property by hand. Matt's home is made entirely of repurposed materials and even has an indoor greenhouse. Guests staying here get a glimpse into a truly unique way of green living. Matt's home is a self-sufficient green building. It's equipped with modern amenities, but it's off-grid and made from natural, recycled materials. This design is called an earthship. It's a style of architecture that inspired Matt to create his very own eco-home. Matt rents out 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. He shares the kitchen and living space with guests while living on the opposite side of the home. His goal was to build something guests could see themselves in. Eco, yet modern and stylish.
Wow. This is amazing. And it smells so fresh in here. What an incredible first impression.
Welcome.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
I'm just admiring your indoor greenhouse here.
Yeah.
How do you keep this vegetation watered and...
Going, yeah. So when you start out the seed, you've got to water it. But then once the seeds get going, through transpiration, the roots can suck up the water from down low. So it's actually gray water that filters into these beds and waters them passively. That's one of the key principles in earthship design is that we're recycling and reusing water all different ways. So the one way is we catch the rainwater off the roof and reuse that water, watering the plants outside, as well as our toilet system is hooked up to flush them from the roof water.
What's the idea behind this space?
This is an earthship. So the idea behind an earthship is that it's built from recycled material. So we use tires, pop cans, bottles during the process. We're facing south. We're collecting that solar thermal energy through the sun as it passes through the horizon there. And this whole room will heat up to 80 degrees naturally through the day. So you can control the temperature in there by opening and closing the doors, as simple as that.
Tell me a bit more about the actual build process here.
I was involved in every step of the way, but we had over 100 volunteers give us a hand building this project, which was great because people were able to learn, while they were sort of lending a hand here.
And then I hear like a lot of the furniture in here as well was something you handcrafted.
Yeah, in the finishing stages, that's what's been fun, is just adding those little touches afterwards, bring the piece together.
And I guess using whatever material is left over.
Exactly. To me, there's a story behind each piece, and so it's fun sharing those little stories about each piece to guests when they come stay.
What was it that drew you to short-term rentals? Why did you want to share this space with people?
I mean, that was just it, is that it was such a learning process for me in building it, and I wanted to inspire others to be able to think that they could do this too.
I'd love to know more about the construction of the back of this house.
Yeah, it's all built out of tires. There's a way we can show you those tires.
Really?
Just back here.
Yeah, I would love that. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
I think when people are doing one of these eco-friendly green spaces, I think interaction with that host is much more critical. People want to learn about the rubber tire roof, and they want to learn about how they're catching rainwater to take a shower. You know, there's just a lot more they want to learn about and experience.
So this is the truth window.
Wow, look at this.
Right
Cool.
here, through this glass, you can see all the tires that were constructed in the building.
And this runs the full width of the house.
Yeah.
Do you know how many tires there are?
Yeah, over 1,000 tires went into this back. Behind these tire wall, you've got about 15 feet of earth. There are these cooling tubes that come through. And so by being buried in the earth, the house is passively working off of those geothermal principles.
So then it stays cool all the time.
It does.
That's amazing. Matt, I love this space. It's so big and these tall ceilings.
Yeah.
And again, all the wood. It's so fantastic. Did you have someone help you design the space?
It was really all just sort of my ideas as it went along, and it was ideas really keeping it simple, recycling and reusing things along the way.
I love the black wall, and it's so kind of earthy and just sort of really grounding.
Yes.
And then in contrast, this gorgeous white shiplap, which is sort of fresh and modern.
Yeah. Tied in the black and the white to the kitchen design with the concrete countertops and then the white cabinetry. And the idea behind wherever you can input concrete into the design is that it's going to also be a heat sink. When you're drawing that sunlight energy in at the front, when it's hitting these elements of concrete, it's storing that thermal energy in that mass.
I love how everything you've done has that purpose to it. This isn't just an island to gather around.
Yeah,
There is a
yeah.
kind of heat source and
That's
a reason
right.
to it. That's
Yeah.
very cool. It is a big space, but it does feel cozy. And having this kind of central communal area for people to gather around this gorgeous table,
Yeah.
it's a really nice element.
It is. I love having the open space where people can be in the living room or in the kitchen, and they're still all kind of together still.
What was your approach to the bathrooms?
The washrooms, I mean, the cool thing again about them is that we're able to, when you're washing your hands, that the water goes to the plants and waters the plants at the front.
And the bedrooms as well, they're so inviting. And again, sort of a celebration of all those different textures and wood. Did you have a kind of particular vision in mind or a design approach?
I mean, really, it was still came down to recycling and reusing. And so the wood that we used in the roof rafters was reclaimed. Yeah.
So they're still having a luxury stay.
They are.
Even though it's an eco property.
That's right.
I think I love that kind of, that marriage.
I wanted this to be attractive to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've accomplished that. So who do you find typically rents this space?
Well, people that are interested in eco-living, and then typically couples, you know, that are wanting a romantic getaway or families. And so this gives them an example of eco-living and just living and breathing in this space. You know, it inspires them.
Well, Matt, I love this space. Thank you for showing me around.
Oh, thanks for coming.
This rental is truly unique in the way it was built, in the way it functions, in the way it was furnished. It really is a great showcase for green living. Matt's put his heart and soul into this home. Everything here is handmade, and he's been focused on guest experience, both in the way they use the space and how they interact with him and his passion for sustainability. This property proves that just because something's eco-friendly, it doesn't mean it can't be modern and luxurious. This space is warm, inviting, and architecturally interesting. This is a great space for anybody looking for a green vacation. Creating a short-term rental with an eco-friendly focus is a winning way to help the Earth and occupancy rates. Matt's Earthship gives a nod to the future, celebrating and protecting the environment, while our next property embraces yesterday to safeguard tomorrow. Have you ever dreamed of getting away from it all and living in the country? The fresh air, the rolling hills, the chance of a simpler life? Well, here on this 200-acre horse farm, you can do just that. And you get to pick glamping or eco-luxury. This tranquil stretch of countryside is owned by Luke. He took 2 of his farm buildings to create luxury experiences with a focus on green eco-living. The glamping cabin dates back to the 1800s and was built around the time of the American Civil War. It's now a short-term rental that's fully off-grid and entirely on point for modern guests.
Hey, Luke, this place is spectacular. It's like the quintessential log cabin. It's gorgeous in here. It feels quite luxurious, even though it is sort of a rustic space. Talk to me about some of the pieces in here.
Sure. It's like a combination of antiques that we had laying around the farm. Those are my grandfather's skis over there. This bed I actually handmade.
I can't believe you did this yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I actually built that coffee table over there too. Used old oak fence boards just to kind of tie it back into the farm.
It's a horse farm predominantly, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We're 3rd generation. My grandparents bought it in 1967. People come and they stay on a farm and then they're like, oh, can I go ride a horse?
Yeah.
Yes, now you can.
What's the main draw of their stay?
I think it's the fact that it's an off-grid cabin. You really feel like you're remote here. In the winter, now that there's no road in and out, it's either snowshoe in or snowmobile in.
How do you heat the space? It's like nice and toasty and warm in here right now. So how does that function?
Yeah, we've got a wood-burning stove, and it kicks out a ton of heat. The insulation job's awesome.
Yeah.
And the logs themselves provide quite a bit of insulation naturally, so it can heat up very quickly in here.
Talk to me a little bit more about being off-grid. What does that mean in this space?
In this space, it means no power, no running water. You've got no heat except for what you create for yourself. So if I want to be warm, I've got to start a fire. If I want to wash these dishes, I've got to boil some water. So you really have to just plan ahead. It gives you like a respect for how people lived, you know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. They have the option of turning on a generator for power or running just candles and firelight. If you want the true settlers experience, go no power.
I think that's great. What about washroom facilities? There's nothing here, so where would we go?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
So we actually built, I call it the bathhouse.
Okay.
So it's a composting outhouse, just about, I'd say 50 feet from the cabin.
Yeah, I can just see it through there.
Yeah.
Cute.
And we actually created an outdoor shower off the side of it. So it's got a 100-gallon tank that's on a gravity feed. But you're basically showering out and about in the trees.
Just at one with nature. What is it that you love about short-term rentals?
I've created an environment that I feel like will really enhance somebody's day. Like, I really like making somebody have a great day. Short-term rentals are great because I get to do that time after time.
I think that's what adds to the authenticity of this space. You know, I love that you're sharing some of your family heirlooms and then that you've made stuff and then you've brought in things from the farm. It's just a very clever way of kind of curating a space.
Thank you.
You have another property on the farm, is that right?
That's right. The original short-term rental unit is called the Tack House. It's pretty awesome. Listen, I've got a snowmobile. Do you want to go check it out?
Absolutely. Come on, let's do it. Okay.
The Tack House was built in the 1840s and at one time housed a family of 8. While this loft does have the luxury of running water, power, and an indoor bathroom, it's still heavily focused on sustainability.
Oh, wow. This is another great space. But, like, so different from the cabin, but still kind of rustic, but I love it.
Yeah, we went for more of like a contemporary rustic in here. So there's some gas piping metalwork mixed with reclaimed wood.
And you said that this used to be the tack house.
Yeah, this was where we stored all of the old saddles, bridles, bits, all the tack for the horses.
Wow, so it really has undergone quite the transformation.
Totally.
I noticed as I'm kind of looking around here, you still kept quite a lot of sort of homemade elements, which is really nice.
The first thing I think I made here was a bookshelf. So I just reused an old pallet. I made a coffee table, and my brother welded together the legs. The top of a handmade sink.
I can't believe that you made your own vanity. That's quite impressive.
Repurposing old materials to create something new is part of what makes this eco-loft green.
So take me through the space. So upstairs is one bedroom?
Yeah, so it's a loft space upstairs. So built a queen-size bed, framed in, and then reclaimed wood all around it. We've got storage space down the sides in the dead area where it's too low to walk. And then there's another daybed lounger just by the window. It's like a little reading nook. There's books up there. It's a great spot to chill, check out the stars.
And then this space has its own functional washroom.
Yeah. Again, it's a small space, so it took a while to figure out how we were going to do everything. I used a composting toilet. I created a kitchen sink that's also a bathroom sink.
What kind of guests do you normally get in a place like this?
There's a lot of people that just want to be more in touch with the environment. This is a place where you wake up in the morning and you don't really know what time it is because you've had such a great sleep. There's no noise. It's so quiet. And then people go for walks or they go horseback riding. So it's a lot of people that want to get outside.
What are the kind of added extras you've kind of included here for your guests?
Well, I mean, obviously we're hooked up to power, which is nice. So there's hydro coming into the unit. We've also got running water. What I like to do when guests show up is have a little welcome basket. So I've got farm-made wine, and then usually I have like some chocolates or gifts just to help them feel at home.
And they're all kind of locally sourced.
That's right.
Thank you so much for showing me around. I've loved seeing these two really contrasting spaces. And thank you for the snowmobile ride. That was wicked.
My pleasure.
This is such a unique property with two different rental options. One off-grid cabin and one luxurious eco-loft. Both are in the perfect setting for a truly authentic countryside getaway. It can be daunting to live off-grid, but Lou's cabin is the right blend of rustic back-to-basics and luxury living that any guest can enjoy. I am not a camper, but here I for sure would try out the glamping. Green living can be both gentle on the earth and luxurious. Matt built his Earthship with green living at the forefront. And Luke's passion for sustainability shows in every nook and cranny in the loft and the cabin. But staying out of town in the great outdoors is not the only way to respect and connect with nature. This 108-year-old urban loft has been converted into a mix of residential and commercial spaces. Gwen and Matt have created an eco-friendly city space, filling their loft with plants and using salvaged materials to furnish it. Their passion for upcycled furniture and local antiques is a creative way to reduce their carbon footprint and let their guests experience urban, green living.
Do tropical plants and lush greenery automatically make you feel like you're on vacation? Our next homeowners were so inspired by Singapore's flora and fauna that they filled their loft with over 100 exotic plants. Hey!
Hey, come on in.
Hi! Oh my goodness, this space is incredible.
Thank you.
Wow, there's so much light and all these plants. It's such a kind of urban jungle. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, the inspiration just came from where I came from originally. I came from Singapore. I feel the more plants, the merrier, and everybody who comes here seems to agree with me, so there's no stopping me.
Wow, that must take some serious maintenance.
It sure does.
So you've done a lot of upcycling to furnish this space. What are some of your favorite pieces?
Some of my favorite pieces are actually a couple of mid-century modern chairs that we just found at the side of the street. We cleaned them up, we put new cushions on them, and voila, they're worth tons now, and we had no idea initially.
I can't believe people would leave that on the side of the street.
I know.
Is that a gong?
Yes, it's a Javanese gong, and I hand-carried that gong all the way from Sarawak, where my maternal side is from. It just reminds me of my roots and where I've come from.
I think that's lovely. It kind of personalizes the space.
This place, I would say, it's styled by us, but a million other hands have come in and nudged things around. And sometimes, you know, when they try to put things back, I just tell them to leave it. Because, you know, it just looks great that way. And I feel that that's a piece of everybody that's been in here and they've, like, shifted things around.
It's almost like a community space.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
How do you find guests typically use the space?
We have all sorts, really. Beyond some of the short-term overnight stays, we also have a lot of daytime bookings. Bridal showers, baby showers are really big in the space here.
We've had jazz performances.
Yeah, that's right, the Bossa Nova performance that was here.
Pop-up restaurants. We hold a lot of parties here, a lot of private get-togethers of our own. And we've had board meetings in here, too.
You name it, it's happened here.
You have to kind of juggle a lot of balls in this space because you have so many different kinds of guests. What did you have to do to get it rental ready?
I wanted people immediately to feel comfortable and, to have lots of areas where people could sit, people could cluster. We have all this vintage furniture out because we want people to enjoy pieces like that and to perhaps consider fixing something or recycling something and being a little bit more eco-friendly as opposed to just throwing things away and buying something new. Because of the different groups that come here, we kind of made the space versatile. We invite people to move things around. The furniture is light.
That's really cool. So you actually actively encourage your guests to come in and sort of make the space their own, move stuff around.
Absolutely.
I think that's really interesting. I see over here there's a swing, and I've got to try it out.
Awesome.
And it's pretty comfortable. I love this. It's such a memorable element in the space.
It's everyone's favorite.
So what is this space used for?
Well, this space we keep really open because it's great for photography, videos. If people want to mill around, and we'll set up tables, lots of great fun things.
Yeah, so this is the flex space, really.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So are there any other homemade items in this space?
Yes, I actually had a hand at making some macrame. There's also a couple of tiny paintings that I've done. The space really is a reflection of kind of all the things that we see.
And your creativity as well.
Oh, well, yeah, I like to think it's just me saving money.
What's behind the wall?
That leads into the secret bedroom.
The secret bedroom. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go take a look. This is another great space. What a lovely bedroom.
Thanks a lot. We put a lot of thought into making it really comfy and cozy for everyone who comes by.
Yeah, I can see that. Tell me a bit about your approach to designing this space.
First and foremost, it was coziness and comfort. We also brought in some of our eclectic elements that you saw outside. Of course, more plants. And then we have this vintage map. We're really big travelers, and we like to always be surrounded by the world as much as we can.
Absolutely. And what about kind of in terms of luxury elements? Was there anything you added into this space kind of to keep guests super comfortable?
One of the things I find with short-term rentals is that they always cheap out on the bed, and I hate that. This is my secret weapon. I have these huge, nice, poofy duvets on there. You should have lush pillows. And the whole concept of the bed is that I want people to lay in it and feel as though they're sinking into a cloud of heaven.
Yeah, because having a good night's sleep is so important in a rental.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is such a gorgeous and interesting space. Thanks for showing me around.
My pleasure.
Matt and Gwen have created their very own urban jungle. This is such a memorable space with an impressive collection of plant life, upcycled furniture, and local antiques. This is an adaptable space that's suitable for groups, parties, photo shoots, and more. These elements and the flexibility of the space means it's very rentable and continuously booked. They really have created a fantastic green city space worth experiencing. Many of us really want to have a smaller carbon footprint and live in ways that respect the environment, but it's complicated and expensive. So staying in eco places on vacation is a great way to dip your toe into the water. Matt's fulfilled a lifelong dream building a sustainable Earthship, so he can now host short-term travelers interested in a green lifestyle. Luke has 2 beautiful spaces on his horse farm, where he loves to interact with guests and educate visitors about sustainable living. For the urban traveler who wants to experience upcycling at its finest, Matt and Gwen have created a space filled with antiques and refurbished finds. Add to that a profusion of plants, and this space is perfect for any short-term rental or special occasion. I have been so impressed with the craftsmanship of these homeowners. They're building furniture, salvaging antiques, and putting together spaces that are jaw-dropping and driven by sustainability. For me, this was a really eye-opening experience. Not only was it a great treat to get out into the country, but also to learn about new building techniques and to discover that eco-living doesn't mean sacrificing style or comfort. When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. Ever wonder what it's like to live in 500 square feet? Tiny living is here, and short-term rentals are a great way to take it for a test drive. I'll be seeing a tiny family home on wheels that was completely handcrafted by the owners.
So when we first started, we thought, oh, it'll only take us 3 months to build it. We're like, we've got this. We're going to be living in it by winter.
Then imagine curling up in a sweet, rustic mini cabin with twinkle and a view.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. That blue water, that's spectacular.
And I'll check out a garage that has been transformed into so much more.
What a great space. I would never have imagined this was inside what looks like a regular garage.
The average home in North America has sprawled to over 2,000 square feet. The tiny house movement challenges these large footprints and the concept of consumerism. Short-term vacation rentals are a way for the average person to try out smaller than average living.
I think travelers are drawn to tiny homes just because they are so different than their normal existence today. Most people are living in big homes, and they really want to see if they could actually cram all of their stuff and belongings in such a tiny existence.
Vacationing in a tiny home lets people sample the innovative design necessary for living little. Scaled-down living also opens up the possibility of homes to be located and sometimes transported almost anywhere, like remote forests or beaches. Small-size homes prove that living little doesn't have to be a sacrifice.
Now this is what I think of when I imagine tiny living. It's just 160 square feet. It's wooden and built entirely by hand. I can't wait to get inside. It sounds so cute.
After traveling and living in a trailer, Kat and Matt realized they loved life in close quarters. Once they returned home, they decided to keep the intimacy and build a tiny off-grid home on a trailer. With a bit of research and a lot of hard work, these two made a small home with lots of love. They wanted to share their beloved trailer with others, so they opened their doors to the short-term rental market.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi. Now, I had an idea this was going to be cute, but I had no clue it was going to be this gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow, I can't believe you built this whole place by hand.
It's a lot of work.
Yes. So why did you choose to kind of, pick tiny, and then also to build it yourself? Like, what was kind of behind that decision?
We just got really excited about the idea of having a house that we can move. We also really wanted to create something that was ours, like something built with our own hands, with our love, our labor.
I'm just fascinated that you took this on. You know, like, I'm very hands-on myself.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have a team of people that help me, and I'm also working with existing structures. You had nothing, right? Talk me through the beginning. How did you start?
So when we first started, we thought, oh, it'll only take us 3 months to build it. We're like, 3 months, we've got this. We're going to be living in it by winter. That was not true. It took us a year to build. It was a lot of energy, sort of learning all of these new things. And especially in a small space, like, there was no real blueprint to say, like, this is how a normal house is built, and this is how you build a tiny house.
You lived here with your family for several years, right?
Yeah, so there was 3 of us for...
Just over 3 years.
And then 4 of us.
4 of you?
And then 4 of us.
With a baby?
With a baby.
Wow, that's brave.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, in some ways, that must have given you such a kind of intimate family experience.
Yeah, we lived in a 54-square-foot camper before we moved in here. So this was an upgrade in space, but it's a pressure cooker for a relationship. Like, you figure out if you are well-suited for each other or not very quickly.
Okay.
This property was built by hand by the owner, which really means it was, cared for. Every inch has its own details brought to it by its creator. So I think it's a really interesting plus for most properties that they're one of a kind, they're extremely unique, and I think most travelers enjoy that.
Oh, wow, guys. There is so much to take in here. Tell me about how the space is organized. How are the areas broken down?
We have 2 lofts. There's a larger loft that we were sleeping in. There's a smaller loft on the other side of the house that my daughter is sleeping in.
This is your living room or your reading nook, and the couch also turns into a bed. And then we move into here, and this is our dining area or computer room because we have a Murphy table that folds up, and we have chairs in the other room that come in. And then you've got your kitchen and then our bathroom. The bathroom is one of my favorite rooms. One, because I love that we have a composting toilet. And then we have this really great tub, which I love so much. This big, deep soaker tub that is a horse trough.
Wow, a horse trough.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and so another thing was we wanted lots of storage. So all of the steps have, cubbies in them. That's so brilliant, right? All of our ceilings have storage that drops down, and both lofts have storage drawers in the floors. So it's like having your dresser in your floor. And underneath the stairs, which is, usually dead space, we have a closet underneath there, plus our water and our water tank, and all of our batteries are underneath our couch. So.
Oh, wow, cool. So are you guys off-grid here, or you are?
Yeah.
So how are you powered?
It's a solar-powered house, so there's actually a battery bank underneath the couch. There's a charge controller, an AC inverter, so we have regular plug outlets, and then a solar array outside, which is detached from the house.
Okay, and then what about your water supply? Where's that coming from?
So they're on a well on this property, and so we had a line put in, and then our plumbing inside functions like a regular house. Now, because we are in cold weather half of the year, we sort of have to let our guests know, just so you know, part of the experience is the heater might turn off, or, the water might freeze, or the hot water might not work. So things like that. Yeah. And it's great because people are actually really receptive because they know they're coming for an off-grid home, and they're coming for that experience.
It's kind of part of the charm, I guess, really. You're getting that rustic experience.
Staying in a tiny home is a great way for someone to find out if it's actually the way that they want to live. It's a perfect way to dip your toe into the tiny house movement without actually having your own tiny home.
Oh, the fresh air out here.
I know, it's
great. Lovely. I don't think I'd ever get bored of this.
You can't get bored of this. It's really stunning. And that's actually the great thing about having so many windows in our tiny house is we have the best view. A lot of our windows we actually found while we were still living on the road. And so we actually built a lot of the house around the unique shaped windows that you see inside.
I love that approach. Design the house around some of those windows versus having the house and then having custom windows made.
That's right.
What do you think is the biggest kind of takeaway from tiny living? What is it that you guys love about small spaces?
I love the small space for a few reasons. Economically, it was affordable for us to build our own house this way. And environmentally, we were able to build it using a lot of reclaimed materials. We got to get creative with our space in terms of organizing how it would be laid out.
And how does tiny living affect the family dynamic?
I've really loved living in a small space with my family because it creates a lot of intimacy. And there isn't space to be upset and stay upset with people. There aren't different corners of the house to go to. You're resolving things. And our time together is spent together. For some people, that would be like, no way, right? But for us, I really enjoyed that closeness.
Guys, I really love what you've done here. Thank you so much for showing me around.
Oh, thanks so much for coming.
The story behind this rental is fascinating and inspiring. Their love for tiny eco-living is contagious. Transforming it into a short-term rental has given them an outlet to share not only what they built, but also their approach and philosophy to tiny living. In terms of design, it's clever. The multiple windows add a sense of space. There's a creative use of storage, and the whimsical finishes are all components that make this home functional and completely unique. I think it works as a short-term rental because it gives guests a unique chance to live in a handmade property, to try tiny living, and to enjoy this warm and charming home. Downsizing your life into a tiny space is a massive shift for most people. What better way to see if it's right for you than trying it out on vacation? If you want to get way off the grid and see some super smart storage ideas, Cat & Matt's micro-family home can't be beaten. And if you want to get out of town but into a cozy cabin, the next property is sure to make you swoon. This 250-square-foot cabin in the woods has been nicknamed Cupid's Cabin. 10 marriage proposals have been accepted in this romantic, tiny home that has guests posting gushing reviews. Nestled in the woods, this rustic cabin sits on a 15-acre property, complete with a private pond.
So this beautiful property is secluded, and that's why people are going to be coming to this property. You can tell people are coming here for a romantic getaway. It's sort of like camping, but, you know, upgraded. Quintessential glamping, I would call it.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Katie. It's a cold day today, isn't it?
It is so cold. Did you just put a log on the fire?
Just one more, just to keep
Nice.
this warm.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Walk up through the forest. It's so beautiful.
It kind of decompresses you, doesn't it, when you come down here?
It's spectacular. It's so kind of isolated and secluded here. It's a gorgeous setting.
The first time I walked down these trees and I came around the bend and saw the cabin, I knew right then I needed to have this property.
This cabin is gorgeous. It's tiny, but it's set in such a great space. Tell me more about how this cabin kind of was built.
So the previous owner built this cabin for his daughters as a playhouse.
Oh, my goodness. What an impressive playhouse.
Mhm.
Wow, I think I had some boxes in my back garden. I think I need to have a chat with my dad about what went wrong there.
Right.
How big is the property?
So in total, the property is 15 acres, but originally it was 100 acres.
Wow.
So when they wanted to sever this 100-acre property, the ordinances said there was too many square feet under roof. So that owner needed to take down a barn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so all the reclaimed materials from the barn, some of them were used for this building.
So that's great, though, right? You know, it's sort of sad to have to lose a building, but then great to be able to kind of reclaim that material and reuse it and then build what is such a kind of romantic, cute little space.
Yes.
So you market this property as off-grid. What are the elements here that make it an eco-property?
Well, when you want to decompress, one of the first things is not to always be looking at your phone.
Mhm.
So there's not any Wi-Fi connection down here whatsoever, and even cell reception is very poor,
So they can really unplug.
100%. We also have a wood-burning stove, so people can actually chop their own little kindling, build a little fire for those days when there's maybe no heat anymore. There's no running water. There is a toilet, though, that doesn't use water. It uses peat moss, so it's a compost toilet.
So they're showering and washing in the pond, or?
They can, or the house is actually 2 minutes away, walking.
Okay.
So there's a full bathroom facility up in the
Okay, so you open up your house to guests if they need to use those
shared
facilities?
kitchen. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's
so
amazing.
it's almost, this is like a satellite and the mothership is up there.
Ah, that's a nice way of putting it. What are the kind of elements to hosting that you think are the most important?
It's setting the environment, very important. We're so visual nowadays. Everybody's on social media and they're liking pictures and so forth. So that's what draws people here. So you need to have something different, authentic. That's the key thing.
It's such a small space to work with. It's hard to kind of design within tight spaces. But
Yes.
you've done it really well here. Like, there
Thank you.
seems to be everything that you would need.
So I've never done well in school, but I've been gifted a couple of things. One is spatial awareness. Even though it's small, you still want to have little areas where if you're a couple here and you want to do separate things, but be in the same room, you could still do that. So we have a nice little area here to do puzzles, as well as you can have your candlelight dinner. In behind us is where we entered. There's a small bathroom, there's a microwave, a little kitchenette as well. And upstairs there's a bedroom in a loft-style area overlooking the pond.
Wow.
So the pond that's frozen right now is a natural pond. So it's a water table pond.
What does it look like in the summer?
Here's a deck of cards with the cabin.
Oh my God, you had cards made. That's very cool. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. The color of the water. That's
Blue clay.
spectacular.
The previous owner had it dredged out, and when you dredge out to the blue clay reflects, and that's why it looks magical like that.
Wow, it is magical. Magical is completely the right word. You know, within this kind of secluded setting, it's such a great escape. I can see why people are kind of proposing to each other. I love that you had cards printed. That's a really cool idea.
I think tiny living appeals to people because there's a simplicity about it. They can unplug, be quiet when there's so much hustle and bustle in ordinary life. Tiny living allows you to have that calm.
Bill, what an incredible space. It's so cozy and romantic up here. I love it.
A lot of memories are made here.
I bet. The twinkle lights, it's a nice touch, but you've kept it really simple in here, which I appreciate. And I think it kind of goes along with the theme of this space. You know, it's sort of tiny living and bringing it back to the basics.
Yes.
I think you've created not only a really special, tiny space, but also you're giving your guests a really unique experience in everything that's outside of this space.
It's just a great place to relax, unwind, and just be with the person you love.
Yeah.
thank you so much for showing me around. This has been a really great experience.
Thanks for coming. It's been a pleasure.
This space is small but perfectly formed. It just goes to show that tiny living can have a big impact when it's done well. Beyond the space itself, the isolation here is alluring. It offers an escape from people, noise, and distractions. It encourages you to go back to basics, which is great for an intimate stay. I'm sure the sense of privacy is a big factor in why there have been so many proposals. Cupid's Cabin works as a rental because Bill has created a special space for a special type of stay. The intimacy of the place and the romance of the location work perfectly together to create a unique and memorable rental experience. While living large on vacation is for some, others want to simplify and streamline. Travelers looking to get off-grid may choose a sweet little handcrafted home with heart crammed into every inch, or a rustic eco cabin to stay close and cozy. While those looking for a more urban stay can discover the hidden luxury of an unassuming backyard garage.
Not all tiny homes have to be in remote destinations. They can be in all of our cities and urban destinations as well. So this is really about better utilization of space and not just about where the location of this space is.
This underutilized garage has been transformed into a tiny laneway home with its own soaker tub. Vacationing in a small home is often completely different from a hotel stay. But here, in this property, they have combined tiny living with luxe flair. When Brendan and Elaine retired, they wanted to keep generating income. They converted their unused two-car garage into a 500-square-foot short-term rental space. For them, small wouldn't mean sacrifice. The space is tiny but contemporary, highly functional, and oozing with luxurious touches.
Hey, guys.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Katie. What a great space. I would never have imagined this was inside what looks like a regular garage. It must have taken a lot of work to get it to look like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, many months, really. Well, it's a pretty big renovation. Talk to me about what this place looked like before. I'm guessing it was an unused garage.
Yeah, so it was a two-car garage, and when we moved in here, we didn't even have a car.
Right.
So we had bicycles and strollers and children's wheeled conveyances, and then a lot of just stuff. Brendan was nearly retiring, and we thought, well, this would be a great way of financing his retirement.
And we both have parents from out of town, so when they come, they stay here.
Perfect. So it's kind of like a nanny suite or
That's
an
right.
in-law suite at the same
Exactly.
time.
And doing the short-term rental allows us the freedom to have them come and stay. Whereas if we just rented it, then they'd be on a inflatable in the living room, or we would.
Yeah. I think it was brave of you to sort of turn an unused storage space into a moneymaker.
Oh, exactly. And beyond our wildest dreams. We listed it as a short-term rental on a Friday, and by Monday, we had 20 bookings. And it was, my phone was going beep, beep, beep all weekend.
Well, I think what's really impressive here is how light and bright it is. Once you're inside, you would never know this was a garage.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me kind of about the floor plan. How big is the space? How's the space split up?
Well, I think it's just a typical two-car garage. It's about between 500 and 600 square feet. And what we did to maximize the space is we had the bathroom, and then we built the sleeping loft on top. The highest point in the loft, you can stand up, but most of the time you're just going to crawl up the stairs and roll into bed.
I think it's a very smart use of space. They don't need to be jumping up and down in a bedroom. You're laying down, and at least then you've got a full-size mattress in that space.
Right.
Did you have a real clear vision for designing this space?
We both had things that were really important to us that we wanted for sure to happen. I was insistent there'd be a full-size stove, dishwasher, full-size everything in the kitchen. Brendan was really insistent on the jet tub in the bathroom. He was like, we have to have.
It's a big selling point. I knew it would be.
Yeah, and also really unusual. In a small space, you think of having everything be compact. I love that you made those choices.
I come from a background of cooking and used to work in kitchens, so I immediately thought, what would I want to have?
And one of the things was like a plug in the island, because I imagined people using a food processor, and I imagined myself stepping over a cord, you know. So, but I don't think anybody's used it, but it was like something that I wanted. Plus, I think one of these days we might live in here.
Well, that was it. Everything was sort of, this is our retirement plan.
Yeah.
So this is going to be our house.
Okay.
Once
So
the kids have left.
we thought about ourselves. And,
Yeah. There's gorgeous artwork dotted around here. Where did you find that?
The artist is actually my father.
Oh.
He's a retired teacher, and he started painting. People that stay here always mention the paintings.
I think it's really nice that we have those kind of handmade family elements in here. And it adds such a great pop of color. So what makes you guys stand out in terms of your hosting and welcoming guests?
When people tell us that they're here for a special event, we really like to try and acknowledge that. So if it's a birthday, we'll get the cupcakes.
It's about the extras.
This is such a great alternative to a kind of a luxury hotel stay. I mean, you've got everything you can need here. You've really kind of focused on good finish, quality renovations, and I think that's why you're attracting so many visitors. So I'm dying to see this luxury washroom. Can we take a look?
Yeah, be our guest.
Oh, wow. Guys, you were not exaggerating. This space is gorgeous.
Pretty cool,
Isn't
huh?
it beautiful?
I cannot believe how big this is. You said this was a really important component for you. Why was that?
It's like the luxury part of it, and I pushed for the soaker tub because I just thought that's what people would make a big deal about.
That was the first thing we settled on. We bought this before, like, any other appliance.
It's amazing that you've been able to fit this in, and it doesn't sacrifice the main living space. So I think that was a wise and smart choice, and it's a great wow factor.
Once we decided that we were going to have a bed loft and that the bathroom would be underneath it, it allowed us to have this big bathroom. And we're using this not just, obviously, for the tub and the shower and the toilet, but there's a closet here, and that's where you keep your clothes. And so this becomes like a dressing room.
So you kind of kept this big open space so that people can move.
Yeah.
I noticed there's a barn door as the kind of entry point in.
Well, that's just practical, because otherwise you need to make room for it to swing. So this is a really great way of being able to close the door. Obviously, you want to do that, but also maximize the space in the other room.
I'm just noticing as well that you've continued these gorgeous floors the whole way through the space, which just gives a greater sense of space. It kind of, makes everything feel bigger.
Yeah, and laminate's come a long way since I was a kid. I mean, this looks beautiful, it's wood, but it's also practical because it can take being wet, right? And if it does get damaged, you can just peel up a board and stick another one in.
Yeah, so I love anything that's kind of durable and practical, and like you say, easy to replace if you need to. I'm so impressed with what you've done here. It's a tiny space, but it feels spacious and luxurious. Thank you for showing me around.
Well, thank you for coming.
This space epitomizes tiny living. I'm so impressed that they had the vision to convert this two-car garage into a short-term rental. The floor plan was well designed, and they made smart choices to maximize the space. It's impressive that they've been able to fit a full kitchen and spa bath into this modest space. This makes their rental functional and impactful. They share a passion for hosting and ensure their guests have a 5-star experience. I really like this space. It feels like a private luxury escape where guests can experience high-end tiny living. These 3 homeowners have created small spaces that have big impact. At Cat and Matt's, we saw an impressive, completely hand-built home set in a spectacular rural paradise. I was blown away by their creativity and inventive use of space. At Bill's Cabin in the Woods, I saw a back-to-basics, romantic gem that celebrates simplicity and the great outdoors. It was 250 square feet of unique space with loads of rustic charm and an incredible vista. Then, back in the city, I saw a surprising garage conversion, flooded with loads of light, modern decor, and a creative layout. This was a well-designed, luxurious rental showing us another side to tiny living. What made all 3 properties exceptional were the handmade elements and special touches these homeowners added to make each property stand out and provide guests with a truly unique experience. Whether you're looking for rustic, urban, or whimsical, there are so many small homes available for renters looking to try tiny living. When traveling, you could stay at another boring hotel. Or you could stay here. Now, everyday people are transforming their homes and renting them out to total strangers, offering travelers unique and creative places to stay. The short-term rental trend is global, and despite some criticism, it's here to stay. I renovate and flip houses for a living. Creativity is in my bones, and my job depends on me thinking outside the box. I'm looking at 3 historical properties that are available for short-term rent. They've all been restored by their owners to give guests a unique and remarkable experience while also preserving these gorgeous homes in the community. The first property is an 1850s Victorian mansion that was restored to honor yesterday, yet modernized to appeal to guests today.
There was definitely finding that balance, but it's great because now we have, I think, the best of both worlds.
Then a 150-year-old church that's been renovated into a sexy, minimalist retreat.
Having that bed on the platform is...
Well, I mean, take me to church.
Yeah.
And finally, a historic loft from 1875 that's been thoughtfully reconfigured to suit the needs of the present while honoring the past.
We are so obsessed with our original windows. We're not touching them for as long as we possibly can.
The trend of restoring historical homes for short-term rental is booming. In a time of quick builds, sterile, cookie-cutter hotels and homes, and easy big box furnishing, there's something romantic about surrounding oneself in history and craftsmanship.
Historical properties capture a moment in time. So when they're marketed online with photography, it's quite exciting for someone who's looking to rent to stumble upon those types of properties. It's a chance for them to experience something from the past, but blended with modern-day conveniences, which is a win-win.
Crafting a historic home into a successful short-term rental takes patience and dedication. Homeowners are lovingly creating unique places to stay that hold a piece of history. This historical property was built in the 1860s and was named after its first landowner. It has a beautifully designed interior that features modern amenities mixed with old-world charm. Let's head inside. When Jamie and Anna first saw the property, it was love at first sight. They knew they needed to update it, but wanted to respect the beautiful historical features.
This house was first built in 1859, and its architecture reflects the Victorian architecture of this region. Also, like a lot of houses of this period, it's been added on to more than once, as it passes on through different generations and finds different uses by different people. Visitors to the home can either stay in the main house itself, or they can stay in the loft, which would originally have been home to horses.
Hi. How are you? I'm good. This space is stunning.
Thank you.
Wow.
We did fall in love with this property. It was really special.
What's the layout here? What do we have in the space?
Well, it's 3 suites. What we're standing in is the original stable and the main house, which was, we believe, 1860s. And then there's a 1-bedroom suite next door. So there's 3 suites in total.
Wow. What did it look like when you bought it?
It had a similar layout. The foundational pieces were there, but we did a pretty heavy renovation. So this space here that we're standing in right now, the loft, when we first walked in, there was extra closets and the whole room was painted red.
Jamie had the bravery and vision to demo. And the reveal, I was almost in tears of excitement.
I'm so glad you kept a lot of these original features. The floors in here are amazing. And of course, all the beams everywhere. It's sort of rustic, but you've kind of wrapped it up in this really modern style. You know, some people would come in and just modernize. You guys have done a great job of modernizing, but still keeping those kind of historical elements. Why was that so important?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a home about this age. And my parents were there for 46 years, and they stewarded that home. So this sort of sense of history was there for me. I was more of the preserver. Jamie was a little bit more daring with some modern touches. So I think the two of us coming together brought that.
We took really special care to preserve the historical details. You can't replicate that. We implemented contemporary, double glazed windows. We refinished all the kitchens. We did the countertops and found a new color palette and then decorated. So there was definitely finding that balance. But it's great because now we have, I think, the best of both worlds.
Do you have elements in this space that were really personal to you?
That rocking chair there was my childhood rocking chair.
Really?
That rocking chair there, my mother nursed me on and my sister. These old chairs that we, are everywhere in historical homes. We then spray painted them fun colors so
Pastel colors.
There was just a pop of something new. That tin table is from my parents' home. And my mom, that was her art table. That old wagon coffee table, that piece we found at an antique fair, and it just felt absolutely right for the space.
We used local artists wherever we could, so the countertops were made locally, and same with the fireplace mantle. So it was fun to be able to use the resources locally and see how it transformed the space.
And you, right from the beginning, you had the vision that this was always going to be a short-term rental space.
Yeah, that was our...
Well, there was one moment where we're like, maybe we should move in.
There's always moments where I want to move in here and just write.
Yeah, but isn't that the great thing about short-term rentals? Because when you want to spend time here, you can.
Yeah, it's been great for our families and friends and gatherings. It's been really special, actually. The dream was to create a space where people could gather.
I think you've just done a really nice job of marrying the history and modernity, and it's a really breathtaking space.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want to see some more?
I would love to.
Okay, perfect.
For travelers wanting a little privacy in a self-contained unit, the one-bedroom suite is an excellent option.
This is another gorgeous space. Wow, look at these floors.
I know, these are our pride and joy.
And we have someone else joining us as well.
This is Esther. She comes with the place.
Oh, my goodness, she's adorable. Tell me about these floors, because they are just so impressive.
Well, we pulled up the carpet and cried with joy when we saw them.
Like, you don't see wide boards like this anymore.
It's very unique. We were really careful about the preservation. They are the focal point of this entire suite.
Why was preserving this history so important to you?
It's part of honoring the community and honoring the area.
And also, it's just so unique to come across a building or a home that has everything handmade. I mean, all of these floors were handmade, and all of the trim and just a lot of our furniture as well is handmade. They are made with so much quality. We think it's important to steward this type of history. It took a lot of intention and planning and care to preserve them and bring them back to their original glory, but it is our responsibility.
And well, now you've given it that lease of life so it can kind of be celebrated for another 200 years.
We hope so.
Yeah. Do you find that your guests that stay here, is that kind of a big draw for them? Is that one of the things they appreciate most when they stay here?
A lot of our generation live in condos or, it's harder to find this sense of spaciousness if we're urban dwellers. And, high ceilings or original plank floors. And so they come here and they exhale, they feel, this is different, this is new, this has history, texture.
And it feels authentic in here as well. It doesn't feel like something that's staged as a historical place. I really love the way you've kind of married everything together.
It's sort of what would we enjoy in a space? We've all been to B&Bs with lots of, chintz sofas and lots of doilies, and it's nice to be in a place where it feels fresh and unmusty.
So what was the goal and the vision for this space?
Sanctuary, gathering, community, family. Retreat.
You feel like you've accomplished that?
Definitely.
Yes, it's just, it really brings me so much joy, especially when we get letters and presents from our guests. It feels like we're offering something where people can
be inspired.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have created a truly beautiful rental. So thank you for showing me around.
Oh,
thank you for coming.
Come stay sometime.
My boys will love it here. What an incredible opportunity to explore this 170-year-old property. It's been lovingly restored with great attention to detail so that guests can enjoy this historical home in a serene and stylish setting. I'm pleased that they've retained so many of the original features, like those wonderfully restored floors and the pine cladding with the whitewash. What I love most about this space is that it celebrates history. It's classic country design, but elevated. I can see why guests are lining up to come back. Restoring historical homes for short-term rental takes a keen eye and patience. Jamie and Anna meticulously updated their property by uncovering the past.
We pulled up the carpet and cried with joy when we saw them.
And our next homeowner paid her respects to yesterday by reimagining a classic. This 150-year-old church has been converted into a stunning open-concept short-term rental. This unique property is nicknamed The Sanctuary for its serene nature. I can't wait to get inside.
In this part of the world, many of the most beautiful buildings are churches. But since many of these churches are now losing their congregations, the question becomes what to do with these structures. One option that many people have been exploring recently is actually occupying them and turning them into homes.
Tara loves the history in this 1874 Methodist church. She bought this property to renovate with renters in mind. She wanted to respect the history while updating it to create a warm and inviting space.
This is a cool piece of history.
I wonder what it's like inside.
Wow.
Hello.
Hey, this is huge. It's beautiful in here.
Thank you.
Wow.
Welcome.
Describe to me what the place looked like when you first bought it.
The couple who lived here previous used this space as a yoga studio. They had restored the floors, which was amazing. The walls were yellow and purple, so it wasn't really my aesthetic. The bones were there. We just had to flip it around and make it a little bit more sexy.
Had you always intended this space to be a short-term rental?
No, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen with this. The more I thought about making it work for myself financially, it made the most sense for this to be a short-term rental.
In many ways, you got really lucky because there are so many gorgeous kind of historical features here.
Yeah. For me, it was important to blend the old with the new because that is my aesthetic.
So how long was the transformation process from taking it from what you purchased to this spectacular space we see now?
It was a process. As with any renovation of an older building, there were some cheeky surprises.
Okay.
One, the entire roof needed replacing. So like the most unsexy thing that you could possibly imagine, had to do it, crazy amounts of money, horrible, horrible, barf, barf. Then the second thing that was discovered in the attic, one of the posts was on a 45-degree lean. So like a huge structural issue, completely unanticipated and actually quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Rectified, safe, no one's gonna die. But it took a minute and a lot more money than I think I was ever anticipating. So I think we started working on it when we moved in January and had it ready for August.
What was your design inspiration?
Good question. I wanted people to come here and actually feel like they were in a sanctuary. I just thought, okay, what does a lady in her mid-30s want to relax? She wants a bathtub and a comfy bed.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this because I think the ideas here are really great.
Yes, the nook for the bathtub it's like my pièce de résistance. I love it so much. So we built in these archways and I wanted to make it like really sexy, really kind of like private in this extra large space.
And you know, the design concept here with having everything so open plan is really fresh and unique.
Thanks.
Was there a reason why you chose to go with that layout?
I had no choice. There was nothing else in here. So you walk in, it's a giant room. My challenge was figuring out how to make a giant room make sense structurally. So how to block off small areas to make it feel intimate enough that people aren't feeling like, it's like too big because too big can feel too cold. So creating those little areas of living and loving on the bed and like relaxing in the tub, all of that was very purposeful and meant to be experienced separately, but as a whole as well.
I just love what you've done over here.
Thank you.
It's so fascinating. It's hard to create intimacy in a big space like this, but you've done it really well.
Thank you. Building this little nook into the middle of the room was really important to create conversation and connection with people who were getting away together for the weekend.
Why did you want that bed to be such a focal point in the space?
I literally thought it would just be so sexy to be like on this like raised platform making sweet love to your partner, like looking out over this like beautiful church space.
Really thought about that.
Like I actually like really thought about it. Like I said to my contractor, I was like, I want people to make babies in here. Like I want this to be like a dream space.
No, it's super, super simple, but just really effective.
Thank you. I wanted people to come in here and feel like it was a luxury experience for them.
What is it that you love about short-term rentals?
I love that I get the opportunity to show off this beautiful space that otherwise wouldn't be available to anybody other than me. It's also really cool to meet new people and have them come in and share my space with me and get to know them and hear their stories and be a part of their history. Like, we've had a number of engagements happen here, which is really cool.
Yeah. What kind of handmade items do you leave out for guests?
I tried to think about what would make me feel really at home if I was coming away for a weekend. So body products and bath salts, which are locally made, which I really love. You know, we try to leave flowers out. I always try to bring some wine from a local winery, little love notebooks on the bedside tables. I also make sure that there's always coffee here, because if you need nothing else in the morning, it is a really good cup of coffee.
What's your favorite thing about this space?
Oh my
If you can just pick one thing.
One thing, that's so hard. My goodness. I've loved everything about this. I love hosting. I love all of the space. I love my weird giant hammock. Like, I love all of it. I think the thing that this has taught me the most about is myself and my aptitude for things like this. Like, I had never done this before, and I would really, really love to do it again in another space.
I absolutely love it. You've done a great job here.
Thank you.
So, you've had it for 2 years? The Sanctuary is a contemporary restoration in a historical home that encourages guests to relax and unwind. It's breathtaking. It's a fabulous conversion with something new and beautiful to discover everywhere you look. The architectural challenges Terra faced have resulted in a really interesting and impressive space that's completely unique. Terra repurposed the church and redesigned it specifically with renters' optimal relaxation in mind. I love the black tub under the archway and the magnificent raised platform bed. This space is incredibly calming, and that's what gives guests a stand-out rental experience. Buildings of the past hold memories, nostalgia, and history. Short-term renters eager for a sentimental stay can soak up the charm at the Ferg. And those looking for a renewed vision of the past can stay at the Sanctuary. And guests seeking a modern twist on a classic storefront will be right at home in this next property. These storefronts have been here since 1875 and were built as the center of this farming community. Hidden above them, the apartment has been transformed into a spectacular loft rental with tons of original features. Let's head inside.
This dwelling is in some ways very traditional. The model of having a store downstairs and living spaces upstairs goes back a long way. When this building was first constructed in the 1870s, this is exactly how it would have been laid out. So the owners are in some ways bringing it back to its original layout.
3 years ago, Tanya invested in this commercial property with big dreams, but it needed even bigger renos. The dilapidated restaurant downstairs and outdated apartment above were no match for Tanya's keen eye and hard work. Now, renters have access to a private, New York-inspired apartment that retains its connection with the past.
Oh, nice. Tanya?
Hi, Katie.
Oh, hey.
How are you?
Good. This is such a cool space.
Thank you.
I love this monochromatic scheme. Actually, the way that you've done that black trim, it really picture frames all of these original windows.
We are so obsessed with our original windows, so we decided to really feature them in the space.
It's rare to find sash windows that are still in such great condition.
We're not touching them for as long as we possibly can.
What was your inspiration for this space?
Because it's so small, we kind of wanted to open everything up. So letting the walls be white and kind of grounding everything with the darker floors was our way of really opening up the space.
Yeah, it's really bright in here. When you were furnishing the space, what was your approach there?
Because there's so much history in the baseboards and the floors and just the actual height of the ceilings, we wanted to keep everything else pretty modern. We love the juxtaposition of having some old, some new, and mixing it all together.
What other historical components to the space did you sort of refurbish or kind of cherish?
Something that we really love is our fireplace. It was covered when we got here, so really peeling away the layers and learning what's behind was key.
It's just nice to sort of see that original brick and kind of adds extra warmth to the space.
We think so too.
These were the original floors,
Yes.
I'm guessing. Why did you take that bold decision to kind of paint them out black?
So we had a few issues with the floors, a few of the boards we've kind of replaced. So painting them black kind of hid some imperfections, but at the same time, you're able to really feel the character of the space.
What did it look like when you got the keys for the first time and came in?
Different, definitely different. Everything was very sectioned off. All the bedrooms were very much small, dark. Everything was boarded up in terms of windows and stuff like that. So it took a lot of peeling back layers to see what we were working with. But the initial time we came in here, we could see the potential right away.
Did you have to reconfigure the space when you were getting it ready for short-term rent?
Yes, the bathroom was a real challenge for us. It was quite small, so kind of pushing into this kitchen area and making this a little bit more manageable, a little bit smaller, which is okay for short-term rentals. We were able to make a way bigger bathroom and let a lot more people stay in the space.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the bathroom. Oh, yeah, it's got great flow in the space. I think those structural changes you made were really good.
We wanted to make sure that it was big enough to sleep 6 and for everybody to kind of be able to do their morning routine comfortably.
And I love the way you've designed in here. I love this striking floor and then that you've kept everything else really neutral.
So do we. The bathroom is the first thing our guests see up the stairs, so we really wanted to impact it with some fun.
Yeah, they're really striking and it's kind of nice to see that black and white theme repeated in here as well.
Thank you. Let me show you a bedroom.
Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, what a pretty space this is. Wow, and it kind of feels softer in here.
We really want our guests to relax, so bringing some texture and some softness to the bedrooms is a great way to wind down.
Again, we've got the great ductwork and this tongue and groove ceiling. You kind of really created great continuity around the space.
Because it's so open concept, we knew that we wanted to keep things relatively the same in terms of the design elements, but really switch out things in each unique bedroom.
Yeah. And then just take me through the layout of the whole space.
So this is our biggest bedroom with a king bed. The second bedroom is a bit smaller, but still roomy with a queen. And then our third bedroom has 2 single beds. So we can allow for a lot of different parties to make themselves comfortable.
It's really smart in short-term rentals to kind of give guests that flexibility. You know, you can have families here and big groups, but everyone gets their own identity in each bedroom. Are there any kind of handmade touches and things you've brought into the space?
We are a real hub in this community for great local artisans. So being able to feature them wherever we can in the space is something that we really like to do.
I think it's so great that you have the eye to be able to kind of find these things and curate them and bring them into the space. It makes it sort of really unique and interesting. You've done a really great job with this space. It's beautiful.
Thanks so much, Katie. You're welcome back anytime.
Oh my God, I will be back for sure. Tanya has transformed this historic loft into a must-stay for renters visiting the area. She kept the architectural integrity of the building intact while incorporating handmade details. There's pieces from local artists and personal touches like succulents and customized signs. I'm in love with her daring black and white color scheme. It's striking and totally works for this space. Reducing the kitchen and creating an impressive bathroom is a great decision and one that renters are relishing. The historical features in this space are great. The beautiful fireplace, the original stairs, and it's flooded with light from the sash windows that are beautifully framed by that black trim. She really has done a great job capitalizing on some of the old charm that already existed in the space. I've seen 3 quality renovations that have been carefully thought out to really honor the history of these homes. Jamie and Anna had a clear vision for their rental. They wanted a minimalist space, but they also wanted it to be inviting and historical. Tara transformed a local church into a one-of-a-kind short-term rental. It's a breathtaking space that retains many of the original elements of this 150-year-old church. Tanya created a cool getaway that reveals the architectural features she uncovered as she gutted her commercial property. I love how these homeowners have repurposed these historical spaces, offering a stylish and distinctive experience for guests, all mixed in with a little piece of history.